Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Saturday, August 15th, 2020, to a brand new, thrilling, scintillating, slightly different edition of Dave's Gone By, the long-running mixture of humor, talk, music, interviews, and so forth. Not so much music these days, but a lot of everything else. And boy, do we have an everything else kind of show for you today in this middle of August, in these glorious, wonderful times in the world. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. My darling and adorable wife, Joyce, is just nearby, helping with our watch party and helping with, getting people involved and having fun and playing along with the show. And kind of the neat thing is we really are, fingers crossed, going to be playing along on this episode. We're trying something different. We almost got there last Saturday in terms of a new way, slightly, of doing our today, yesterday trivia quiz. Now, if you're fans of the show, you know that for several months now, we've just had a trivia quiz. I would ask about 8 or 10 or 11 questions that would have to do with the day in history in the news, as it were. So today is August 15th. The questions will all be about events that happened in the world over the past hundreds of years on August 15th. And they would range from sports to music to trivia to culture, theater, also, the gamut, essentially, or whatever I could basically find by trolling a couple of historical trivia websites. So it's kind of cool. And it's worked, and people really enjoy it, and they try and answer the questions without cheating, without binging or wikiing or Googling, just to see what kind of useless random information stays in our heads after like 12th grade. And what's also been really cool is that sometimes we'll have folks that I know or just fans of the show typing along, so that I would read a question and everybody at home would try and get the answer to the question before, like my cousins, Cynthia and Jeff, would type in their little chat thing that they have on Facebook that you can all use during the show. And you try and beat them to the clock. So it gives it sort of a little extra punch. You're not just answering the question, you're trying to beat them to the correct answer, which has been cool, but also because there are delays in when I'm broadcasting to when you're actually seeing and hearing this, whether it's the classic 7-second delay or a specialized 10-second Facebook delay. I've got to wait. So I'll ask a question and then I'll ask it again. And then I'll be kind of, okay.
Today in history?
It's called Today, Yesterday, the quiz. I'll be tapping my fingers and doing kind of cute things to kill time. I'll hold up our very, very expensive prop for the segment and just do all these things to make a minute or two go by to make sure everybody's heard the question before the answers come through. So that is, it drags out the quiz a bit. I try and keep it lively anyway, but here's the deal. What we've been trying to do, now that we're Zooming the past couple of months, everybody is having an actual visual and audio guest answering the questions, more like a classic Jeopardy-ish Who Wants to Be a Millionaire trivia quiz. Well, I'm sorry? We just, and Alex, who's still alive, thank God. But so we're trying to work with it and morph it a little bit. And what I really thought would be cool, and that what we tried to do last week, was to do it like a real quiz and have two teams pitted against each other. And you've ever been pitted, you know just how pruny that can be. That is the caliber of humor that you do get on this program. So,
can you give me the laugh machine?
Oh, you need the machines, of course. My wife needs this and this and this to do the show properly. There we go, and there we go. And last week we were gonna pit my cousins, Cynthia and Jeff, Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. Well, we were going to pit them against my longtime theater critic friend, Jeff Goodman, who was with us playing the quiz the week before. But I don't know, Jeff was en route from Las Vegas to New York. He was supposed to Zoom in last Saturday. I'm like, Jeff, where are you? He's AWOL, he's in the wind, hasn't returned my texts. So, Jeff, I hope you're okay. I know you're going for some skin surgery very shortly. God willing, you're fine, but you skipped out on my show. So one strike, right? And so we're not having Jeff in the Daverhood today. We're having the other Jeff and Cynthia, who will be playing against someone that you guys all know if you've been listening to the show and watching it for years, my longtime other theater critic friend, Leslie Hoban Blake. And Leslie's great. Leslie was a director back in the day. She has also been a critic for many, many years. And if you watch public access TV or YouTube as well, you know that she is the other half of Two on the Aisle that she co-hosts with Charlie Gross, another longtime theater critic friend of mine. So Leslie and I were talking a couple of weeks back about how we remake this trivia quiz, and do we want to do just a theater quiz, which I figured would make 90% of our audience drop right off. And I'm like, well, what about you just appearing as a panelist, if you will, on our weekly Today, Yesterday quiz? And I picked you against our longtime champs, because they're basically the only people who play this every week, Cynthia and Jeff. So all things fingers crossed, working out, hoping that today on Dave's Gone By, we will have a brand newish, mildly Jewish trivia quiz, our Today, Yesterday quiz, featuring the Shubs versus the Blake. And there's even a point system, and we'll see how they do. Are you notifying CBS and Fox affiliates, and are you calling the Wall Street Journal immediately, and Reuters and UPI? What? Because it's like this is exciting, incredible news. I mean, forget the Middle East peace thing that was brokered this week. A revised, revamped Today, Yesterday quiz. This is world changing. By the way, whose worlds are we changing today, hon? Who has joined watching the show?
Doug.
Hello, Doug.
George.
Hey, George.
Melissa.
Bruce.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Will.
Will. Mm-hmm.
David.
David. Hello, hello, David.
David. 3 Davids.
3 Davids, my goodness.
David.
Wait, come on.
Bill and then Billy.
Bill, Billy, and how many, are they all different Davids?
They're all different Davids.
Wow. And what a wonderful name that is. I mean,
It rings a bell.
It does. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also have other stuff to do on this episode, our 759th iteration of Dave's Gone By. But they all, or at least for the past couple of years, they've all begun just like this.
Good morning. There goes the Daverhood. And there was much rejoicing.
Didn't your meds kick in yet?
Yeah, David Lefter is here. He's a Long Island Arts guy. He's got his own radio show.
I want you all to really enjoy a wonderful program done by a fine artist.
A glorious thing of unparalleled beauty.
Dave's Gone By. Dave is one of my very favorite broadcasters, so keep on listening to Mr. Dave.
Yes, the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. With me, Dave Lefkowitz. Joyce Potato is with us. Potato is sitting on some mail. That isn't like one of those hemorrhoid donut cushions he's on. That is actually a priority mail bag. It's kind of hard to see here because something very exciting is also going to be happening on the show. Little Papito is here with him. Hi, Papito. Oh, he's still sleepy. He hasn't had his morning salted butter yet. But oh my gosh, we have some potato excitement, even though we don't have potato. What? Tell me.
We have a Gareth who joined. We're getting very fancy in the name.
Gareth. Yeah, I hope Moose comes back. And who?
And Mark.
Mark and Gareth. Oh, I might have to start talking with an English accent, don't you know? Oh, is it really M-A-R-Q?
I don't know.
Oh, Well, hello, Mark K. and Gareth as well. When I talk about the Dave's Gone By Facebook here, podcast here, programming of the stream, and I do so with excess saliva on my lips, I do it because, there's so much more to the show than the Today, Yesterday quiz that we will be doing shortly. In fact, we will also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Now, Joyce and I lived in Colorado when we were not.
You should call me mother.
Mother and I were trolling around the grounds of Saxony when we decided to live in Colorado for a stretch. And there we were in northern Colorado with the snow and the mosquitoes and the smell of the JBS plant wafting in the background. And we said to ourselves, we should have poetry about this, like Coleridge and William Blake and Baudelaire. What kind of poem should we have? And I said, we should have a limerick for every town, every city, every municipality in this great, great kingdom of the Coloradoans. And I began, friends, creating.
Become chaperone. How come you were English?
I don't know. This is why I don't teach accents in my acting classes. But why did I become? Because I'm an idiot. That's why I became. So, so that would be Canadian though, if I didn't done a Canadian kind of a thing. But yeah, I decided to start writing a poem about every single place I could in Colorado. And I've got more than 100 of them. And we do one a week here on Dave's Gone By. We call them the Colorado Limericks of the Damned. And this week, we're going to, a place called Hayden, Colorado. Not Hayden like the composer, Hayden. I have a poem about Hayden, Colorado in our Limericks of the Damned. And we also have our Wretched pun of destiny. Yes and no. This is where we just terribly, we give you gastric and mental distress by creating a tiny, tiny short story that is capped by a play on words that will ruin your week. I mean, this is the beginning of most people's weeks, essentially. If you start on the weekend and so forth, you don't do the gloomy, depressing Monday starts the week and Sunday ends it. We can also go like the Jewish way, like, Saturday starts the happy week. Fine. Either way, we kill it with our wretched pun of destiny, and we're going to have a biblical one. And Rabbi Saul Solomon's going to be very happy about this, and it's all about Moses. Yes, we have a pun involving Moses and Egypt and all of that. You do want to miss our wretched pun of destiny. Now, speaking of Rabbi Saul Solomon, we're going to bring him in briefly today to bring back a segment we haven't done, I think, in a couple of months now, called Story Time. And there's actually a story behind this story time. We weren't even going to do the segment this week, and then something happened yesterday that I just have to yes, we're doing this. And Rabbi Saul, I give him a call, and it's tough with him because he doesn't even have a flip phone. He has a flip abacus because he's very cheap and behind the times. So it's kind of this digital thing where you have to move the beads digitally across the screen just to make a word. I keep begging him to go into the 19th century of cellular phone technology, but no. But I did get him eventually on the abacus phone, and Rabbi Saul will be with us for story time here on Dave's Gone By. Plus, what else we have? Inside Broadway. I wish I could say we had a delightful, happy Broadway segment to do for you, to talk about all the shows that are going to be opening in 2021, but it's just like, no, we just have dead people. Lost a major lighting designer a day or two ago, couple of actors, some Broadway news to share with you. I think a little bit of good news, a little bit. So we'll sneak that into our Inside Broadway segment as well. And then we will, I think that'll do it. Greeley Crimes and Old Times, where the newspaper where Joyce and I were living when we were in Colorado, there was in fact a publication. It wasn't the wasn't the UK Sun, nor was it any Rupert Murdoch publication, but in fact it was the Greeley Tribune. And in the Tribune they have hilarious columns called Coplog and 100 Years Ago. And in those stories are funny things, funny phone calls, in fact, that come into the Colorado Police Dispatch, and also stories that were in the newspapers 100 years ago. Well, Dave, I mix them up in a segment called Greeley Crimes and Old Times, and we share them with you. No, that is nothing like Bob Dylan. It is Bob Dylan would be like Greeley Times and Slimes, Theme Time, Dreams, Themes, Schemes. I think about Anne Frank. I think about the bank. I see a lamp. It makes me kind of a scamp, sort of damp. I mean, if you've listened to Rough and Rowdy Ways, his album, it's great, but it's also, you know, he's just sitting there like jumping from rhyme to rhyme and kind of thing. Well, let's see, what song can I think of from like the 1970s and what song can I think of from the 1980s? And then they're, oh, good, they rhyme together. I can throw them in 2 lines. And everybody can think, ooh, I'm doing something really deep about nostalgia for an America over the past 60 years. And really it's like, Supertramp, what does that rhyme with? You know, Supertramp rhymes with Theta Barra the Vamp. That's right. Divorced my first wife over menstrual cramps. Sitting in the stadium watching Supertramps. Yeah, I'll keep that. And then let the critics puzzle it out. And, oh, well, yeah. And sitting in the bitter end watching Baby Gramps. Always wanted to get him on the show, by the way. Have not yet gotten Baby Gramps on the program, but we do have Chicken. Chicken is with us, making a special appearance today, as our potato. Shall we? I feel really bad about this, that last week, I made a promise, and I hate making.
Chicken fighting.
No, well, the chicken fighting we did. I want to see that chicken fighting again. That was really upsetting.
I think there are people who would. It looks like your audience would enjoy that.
Well, who's in there? Any new people signing on? Any?
We have,
Talk to me loud.
We had I can't think of
Oh.
We had the Davids.
Hello, Davids.
You know,
And that's all who signed on. Everybody's.
I have to find more. There's a whole bunch of
Oh boy, good. Because Joyce is scrolling through the folks, and I know Cynthia and Jeff are already on.
Glenn, but then the other people I can't see. I don't know what I did.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we've got Glenn. I know. Welcome to. Is it Glenn from the library? Glenn? No. Oh, different Glenn. Well, welcome, Glenn, and welcome everyone. And Cynthia says she's getting her sister to watch, which is great. Thank you. I don't know why she doesn't do that every single week, but all right. Okay, it's good to have her if she comes on to watch.
Last week she was texting. She was chatting.
Oh, that's right. That is correct. That's true. So here we go. Here's the thing that.
It's not the singer though, not the one who's the jazz singer. That's another one.
That's another one. This is Shub 2.
I think there's 3 Shub sisters or 4. I forget what she told us.
Well, you know, if the Shub fits, wear it. Yeah.
Wow, somebody joined twice.
Oh, who joined twice?
Rick joined twice.
Who did?
I don't know how you Rick. He joined twice.
Rick? B-R-I-C-K?
Rick, R-I-C-K.
Oh, Rick.
Twice at once. Look.
Yeah, hey.
Whoa.
Well, tell me.
Vincent and Donna too.
Welcome to Vincent and Nana.
Oh, Glenn says hello.
Hello, Glenn.
I'm good to see that.
And good to see you. So I apologize to you all. I apologize to Potatoes because last week we had a special delivery and I got through the show and I'd forgotten all about it, even though I promised this right at the beginning of the show. We're not going to forget about it today. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special package, a special delivery courtesy of our friends in eBay. So Papito, hang tight, hang with chicken. You know, Potato's obviously very short. Isn't gonna show up with chicken. Potato has been sitting on the box. I think I hatched it. Oh, that's very good. He's sitting there all week, waiting for this to hatch. Pardon me. So here we go. Look at this. Priority mail. Very exciting. And what's beautiful about this, actually not so beautiful, just damned expensive about it, was sometimes when I tried to increase the potato population, of my life and of days gone by. I can get a potato, find them somewhere on the interwebs or on eBay, and it's simple. It's like, oh, are you asking a reasonable price for these guys? You know, somewhere under $5,000, and they're like, yes, and I'll buy it now, or we'll dicker, or we'll bargain a little bit. And sometimes the worst is when not only when they won't dicker or bargain, but they won't break up a perceived set. Because these potatoes, and if you've been watching the show, you know I love these potatoes. They actually came as part of this whole set of vegetables done by Toy Box Creations to get kids to appreciate and eat vegetables, which is really appropriate for this week because we just have a food person in to see if my father would eat like mashed vegetables because he'll be able to swallow them. So veggies are quite important, right? So potato. There's also broccoli and corn and a carrot and a mushroom thing and a squash and a.
I have to show you something.
Oh, Joyce is going to show me something. What is she going to show me?
Screenshot this.
Just
look at the two guests who are watching.
Okay, I got to go over and look at something here. Yeah.
Look at
Show
the
me.
combination of him. And they're watching together.
Wow.
Yes. So I wouldn't mention that. I was just
You
thinking.
just did. We're on the air when you're talking about this, but Joyce, just the wide range of people who tune into this program. Who just joined? Or who said?
Our friend Billy said I'm here too.
Hey, Bill, stage manager Bill. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I think I'm happy for Bill in the sense that he's been working for one of these off Broadway theaters for many, many years, and what have they been doing? But I think they've been doing some virtual stuff. So hopefully he's been busy and picking up a paycheck and so forth for theater in the new city. But anyway, this is what I have to do sometimes in order to get more of these. I have to buy like these. And I know, yeah, he's really cute. I admit that. But I have no real use in my life for broccoli, whether actual broccoli I have to eat or this. And the problem is, I gotta buy him and like Moy mushroom and Billy broccoli and Killy cauliflower. Here's Moy. Moy, I always like Moy. Moy is really cute. There's Moy mushroom on the left, on my left. Here's Billy broccoli, I think his name is, or Cubby broccoli perhaps. And then is there Sam Squash? Is he around? Let's see.
What happened to the corn?
Oh, I put the corn somewhere. I moved them because there's no room to live in here. I probably put them in the other room. He didn't come from this particular batch, but he's really cute. This is Tom Tomato or something tomato, ripe tomato. And I have to order all of them.
David,
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Somebody asked, they said,
Yeah.
I came in a tad late. Is that a giant payday bar behind you? Oh no, tell him this is a potato cloth.
This is actually cloth of raw, beautiful red and I guess Yukon Gold potatoes on a cloth. And this, of course, is a chicken. So what else do you expect to see when you're watching the Dave's Gone By Facebook Yo program? A normal backdrop, a green screen perhaps with stock tickers? No, you're going to get a cloth that looks like potatoes and a pink purple chicken. What else? So what else do I have to buy to get one of these fellas? So they don't break up a set. They're like, no, you have to buy all half dozen vegetables. I won't sell them sepaly. Because they think somehow that if they have 5 or 6 of them, that is the whole set, which it isn't even. But here we go. Oh, look, oh, great. Look at, another tomato. And look at this tomato. Look at this thing. I worked with a guy like this. Sometimes I am a guy like this. What the hell? Where's Jerry Lewis when you need him? This comes in the mail. I have to pay good money for this isn't showing up on my wife's screen yet. Wait till you see it. This is, look at him.
Oh, he's like the general in the Agatha Christie. He's got a fake eye.
Either a fake eye or it's a tomato suffering with goiter of some sort.
He's got that lazy eye.
This is beyond lazy. This is an eye that never ever worked at all.
I think he's very cute.
He is, I mean, you know, if women have boobs like these, they get corrective surgery. Look at this.
I don't know what happened to him.
This I have to.
Because you left him in the, he's much more developed than the other potatoes. You left his.
Look at him. Look at this
His
thing.
colors are different. Bring the other potatoes.
He's more orangey. Look,
Yeah.
see, normal tomato, right? Tomato deprived of oxygen. Look at the.
Bill just shared his thing.
I beg your pardon?
Bill just shared his info.
Oh, Bill, well, welcome. Oh, Bill, so is Bill doing anything at Theater for the New City or
He's
something?
doing Liberty or Just Us is streaming on Facebook.
Liberty or just, oh, that's right. Every year, Theater for the New City and their longtime artistic director, Crystal Field, will do street theater, like agitprop, you know, left propagandistic, but, you know, very world-saving kind of theater. And they'll do it outdoors. They'll do it in parks and things, and they'll do it in communities and community centers. Couldn't do it this year, so they're doing it more virtually instead of in front of packed crowds. And Bill is involved in that, so that's great, Bill. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the piece de resistance, and how can you resist this piece? What I waited for, what I had to pay to get, you know, things like this for. I mean, seriously. And now the big reveal. Look, it's a breech birth, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming out. Wait, are they supposed to come out head first or foot first?
Head first.
They're supposed to come out head first, right? The baby, a normal.
Yeah, normal birth. Yeah.
Normal. So this is a breech. Here we go. We're gonna do like a Hercules, or who's the one with the Achilles? Here comes the pierceable foot and the ass.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, God damn it! Oh, I see an arm. Oh, I hope it's normal. I hope it has no toes. Here's the other foot. Ladies and gentlemen, I wonder what it is. I wonder what this could be. And one last push. You think you're up to it? Do you need Demerol? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, a new potato. Wait, press any button. Just press the button. This is an important moment. A new, spanking, beautiful potato. Let's take a look at him, shall we? Two beady little eyes, real close together, but at least, you know, at least they're not like.
He's skinny.
Yeah, he's been kind of in this package a little longer than he ought to have been, but he's got a nice svelte figure. He's got kind of those Kevin Spacey creases on him down here. Let's spin him around a little bit. Let's have a real look.
When you do it, you're slowing down. That's the video you're stopping.
Oh, I'm going slow now. Here he comes, Spud America. He's got beautiful skin. He's got a little bit of a rash down there. You might need some calmiceptin on that. Oh no! Look at this. Look how beautiful his butt tuft is, leading down to, of course, the he should wipe, but he's all right. And then we move, we turn. A beautiful, nice pink ribbon. Not too much sun damage on that. He's got a cute little nose. Oh. Now let's see if we can make friends. Here's one of our prior potatoes. Hi. Do you like ketchup? Oh, I love ketchup. Well, don't you be taking mine. Oh no, this is bad. This is it. Stop it. You know, they're all supposed to get along. Let's there's enough, thank you. There's enough ketchup, even the high quality Sir Kensington's ketchup, to go around. Let's try this again. First of all, let's shake whatever those things are that are sort of like hands.
Somebody said spud tush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's shake our hand. Or you know what? No, let's not we need distancing anyway. Let's bow like the Asians do. Bow. Good. Very nice. Okay. Now, potato, say something nice to potato. You're a potato. There really is nothing nicer to say to a potato than calling it potato. Now, potato, say something equally nice to the other potato. You're a potato too. You kind of look like me. No, you look like me. Well, no, begging your pardon, but I do believe that you resemble me.
Bring out the ketchup, bring out the ketchup.
not to cause a fuss, but you're really sort of more looking like me now. Well, look, I don't mean to call you an idiot, but seriously, you look like me. Now you stop it. All right, look. Neutral corners. Yeah, let's see if I can do this properly. All right, here we go. Now, here we go. Just see, you can each have as much ketchup as you want. It's right here. So please share and share alike. Okay, potatoes?
Gosh. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is.
He guesses they could fart fries.
Who said that?
David.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I can't.
One of our many Davids that I guess they could fart fries.
One of the many Davi says that any of these two could fart fries, which is, it's a lot easier to clean up than when they fart mash, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you don't. By the way, I'm Dave Lefkowitz. This nonsense is Dave's Gone By. We do it every Saturday from 9 until noon Eastern time or thereabouts, mixing humor, if you can call that humor, and culture and interviews. And we're doing the whole gamut today, including a brand newish revamped today, yesterday quiz. What now? Oh no.
If you ever get a timeout.
And they're asking me?
Yeah, if you ever get a timeout.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, this is me 24/7 that Joyce has to deal with.
I'm going to see only when the Wi-Fi goes out.
So, darling, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who helps with the program. So how was your week?
Good, except for my migraine.
Yeah, Joyce unfortunately developed a fairly bad migraine yesterday.
I feel a little better now. I've been Tylenol.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times Tylenol doesn't work, but this one kind of seems to be helping with a level of migraine. Migraine's better than your grain. Migraine's better than you. But, and did you know that our friend in the neighborhood, Tom Paxton, wrote that original song? But anywho, yeah,
Is that a real song?
Yeah, he wrote a song called My Kid, or my Dad's.
There's a lot of discussion about they don't want the potatoes fighting. They should get along.
They really should. They should get a long potato, which is a fingerling. But no, just to tell you, Tom Paxton actually wrote a song. I think My Something's Better Than Yours, and Calcan, or one of the dog food commercials, glommed onto the melody and some of the lyrics, and he's probably still getting residuals for it. But anywho, we got the potatoes separated. In fact, they're all huffy at the moment. Huff, huff, huff. They're very huffy. But I think after a while they get along. It's like when we had our two dogs years and years ago, and we had one dog for a few months, and then we introduced another dog into the house, and we couldn't even put them together for like 4 months. We kept them in separate rooms, separate cages. And then within a few weeks after that, when we finally were like, this is ridiculous, let's get them together. And suddenly, overnight, they were sleeping in the same bed and teaching each other stuff and looking out for each other. And I know, if not by the end of this program, by the end of next program.
It's a kennel ration. I don't know what that means.
Kennelration. Oh, was it Kennelration?
I don't know what that means.
That was the name of a brand of dog food. And I know this because I force-fed my grandmother that food many, many times.
But that's the name. I don't know what in regard to that song.
Yeah, they changed it to My Dog's Better Than Your Dog. My dog's better than yours. My dog's better because he eats Kennelration. My dog's better than yours. Yeah. See, this is the kind of nonsensical, pointless waste of time. This
Davids know a lot about trivia.
They do.
Maybe this David will be good at trivia.
Maybe so. I invite you, David, Davi.
Call him David W. It's not his last name. It's his middle initial.
Well, hello, David W. To when we have our trivia quiz, don't forget that all of you guys can play at home too, not just into your own heads, but if you're on Facebook, you can type your messages in, whether you're in the watch party with Joyce or whether you're right here on my main page. So you can try and beat both Leslie Hoban Blake and the Shubs to the correct answer.
I think we've got some strong people. The people in the watch party are very strong competitors. I think they would, if they know this stuff, they would know a lot. Leslie will know about Broadway and theater and acting, you know, and critique. The Shubs know about trivia. I don't know how much they cross over.
We're gonna find. Well, the Shubs don't know theater.
No.
That's why I'm trying to keep it random so that.
But you got to do theater for the theater people.
Yeah, but it's not fair if I purposely tailor a question for Leslie's knowledge base.
Why not?
Well, then you know, it's sort of giving her a gimme. It'd be like Jeopardy, having someone who is a Civil War history teacher, and then making sure that they got a Civil War history category to answer.
Also,
yeah. Well,
apparently Cynthia said half of Synjaf or Synth, one is in New York and one is in California, but I don't know if she means her sisters or she and her hubby.
Oh, well, you can both log on to Zoom.
Oh yeah, as long as they have the link.
And play, but you're playing as a team because I have rules just for 2 teams, not 3. It's going to be so you're going to have to combine forces and even argue amongst yourselves, which is kind of cool. We're going to argue amongst ourselves. No, you're not, potatoes. No, stop it, potatoes. Just calm, please. So I'm sorry, I was asking you, hon, how was your day? How's your week besides the migraine?
It was okay. I mean, you know, I don't want to talk about my parents' health issues.
Do you want to talk about how difficult it was to find out about?
Let's just say it was not a good health week for me. I had a lot of focus. If it was my horoscope,
yeah,
they would say I had a large focus on health and health issues.
Actually, if it was your horoscope, the way your week went, it'd be like, we don't have that information today.
Yes.
Check tomorrow. And then you check again the horoscope tomorrow, and it's like, oh no, we still can't find your horoscope. Come back tomorrow. What, babe? What, babe?
David W. is a trivia buff.
Oh, are you David W?
That would be great.
That sounds like a
I'm a
challenge.
trivia buff majoring in movies and TV. Uh-oh. I'm going to say,
Yeah.
you.
If you're into movie production, then you'd be a Zev buff man. No, sorry, I know. That's why we don't have a sound effect to go with that. No, don't play a sound effect. That was not worth a sound effect. Hold your ears. Master or taker? Taker. Quiz taker. Anyway, well, the Joyce's, it's been a difficult, weird week in the day. Very weird for me. I can tell this now because
it starts at 11, the quiz, right?
Yeah, the quiz. So yes, you have an hour and a half more of this stuff before you even get to the quiz. But we also have, I mean, Greeley Crimes of Old Times is coming up, the Limerick, the Wretched Pun. Rabbi Saul will be here doing story time. And I want to get to that. I want to get to how that all got set up because I wasn't really going to do that today. I was going to do like Dave's Big Dictionary or something else like that. But I can mention now news that cropped up.
Can I say this, David?
Yeah.
That the quiz starts at 11 with 2 quiz experts and an actor critic as competitors.
Yeah. Wait, two quiz experts. Oh, and director. She's Leslie's more of a director back in the day.
Okay.
Leslie Hoban Blake, who will be joining us. She usually is on our Tony shows.
I always think she's an actor.
She probably, I don't remember, when I first met her 30-something years ago. Yeah, she was director critic. And she's even been helping our other friend Charlie Gross with his show that he's bringing or was bringing to Fringe festivals and New York Fringes until the pandemic hit. But anywho, I can mention on the air stuff that's been going on a little bit in my life, that this week I quit the job that I've been working for, not just for the past year full time, that I'm oh, thank you for that sound effect, darling. Great, thank you. Oh. So you have to understand, I quit a job that on some level, or I quit an organization, a place that I have been working at, not just for the last year, or not just since I've come back to New York a year and a half ago, but was my first real job out of, I swear to you, junior high school. I'm a 56-year-old man. And when I was still in junior high, I was hired part-time to shelve books at the local library. And for years, I was either doing that part-time, or I would come there and help run the movie program. I would show the films, first on 16 millimeter giant reels, and then lived through the era when they went on to DVD, and now they're doing Blu-ray, and heaven knows, they'll probably just be streaming in within 5 years. But I was doing that part-time while I was going to high school, while I was going to college 3 times, undergrad, master's, and then, 15 years later, another master's degree. I mean, just like boom, 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 right? And all the time, just stepping back into this building and doing the stuff that I had been doing 30 years before. And it's this mix of things in me, because part of it is a kind of a touchstone, a nostalgia. It's like I was doing this when I was, and there's a bedrock to it. Things haven't changed. I mean, they expanded the library 20, 30 years ago. They added a whole extra wing since I've been there, but it's still in the same place and kind of the same building. And now, of course, there's whole banks of computers and DVDs where there used to be record albums and remember books. So I've been there. And so there's a certain part of that is like, wow, man. So, everything changes. There's pandemics, there's life, there's death. We lose our dogs. And this, I go half deaf. But at the same time, this place that I've been working for is still there doing the same thing, essentially. And I'm still there, right? And virtually nobody's there from when I started working there. And yet people have come and gone, and there've been people there from 15 years ago that I know. And the guy I knew who had like the low level job I had when I started when I was a kid, he now runs the place, which is the reason I was able to get a full-time job there anyway, was just by begging him and saying, hey, dude, I'm in New York for God knows how long. Can you help me out? And he did. And so I feel bad this past week for actually having to say goodbye and quit, which is a scary thing. Because also at the same time, I'm not whining. I'm not being, well, or maybe I'm crying a little bit. Not really. But the thing is about, at the same time that there's a bedrock nostalgia factor, there's also this factor of like, Jesus Christ, I'm 56 years old and I'm still back spinning my wheels in the same place that I was when I was 15. Right? I mean, I'm living in my parents' house again. I'm still a mile and a half from the workplace. I'm doing some of the very same work that I was doing when I was 15. And the other work I'm doing is just basic, physical grunt work with no mental capacity needed. And what the hell have I done with my life? Where did my life go? 35, 40 years, just like, didn't become famous, right? Not, well, no one's acting on Broadway right now, so I don't feel so bad. But you know what I'm saying, right? Figuring, hey, at some point I'll be a famous film director like Woody Allen. Well, not exactly like Woody Allen. Scorsese, let's say. And yet, oh, well, I'm going to work every day at same place I've been going to work every day. Where did the Dave dreams go? And I hear, toilets flushing in the distance. So all that's going on. And at the same time, as much as I come off as a complete idiot on this program, I do have certain skills, among them typing and being able to answer trivial questions. Thank you. So I took the civil service test many, many months ago, and apparently did quite well.
Tell them that they shouldn't have told you when you were the top candidate.
Yeah, apparently on some, I got this letter from CSEA, and I guess they're so messed up during this pandemic times where it's a 2-part test. If you've ever taken the clerk typist test for CSEA, the civil service folks in New York. And what happens is, if you want to be a clerk typist, you have to actually do more than type. I guess there's the clerk part. So there's a written test where you're answering these questions about what is the best protocol to do when you work in an office? If there's a fire, do you spit on it to try and put it out? Do you stomp on it to try and put it out? Do you jump out the window screaming? Do you run out? I mean, questions
You're
somewhat.
getting a lot of interaction about your discussion of Woody Allen and not being a director.
Mhm.
David, the quiz player, says my favorite Woody Allen flick is What's Up, Tiger Lily.
Really? Wow. And people don't know What's Up, Tiger Lily. That's the one where he took an entire Japanese, like sort of gangster swinging 60s film and dubbed everything completely, all the language, all the verbiage. And so you have these Japanese people making Jewish puns and things like that. But anyway, so I think this.
Lively group today, David.
Oh, who's in there? Who else?
There are a lot of people. You keep talking. There's a lot of people.
Great,
Just
welcome.
say, I mean, mostly say.
Yeah.
There's so many Davids. I can't even.
Well, maybe did I do first initials at least?
There's too many.
Wow. Welcome all the Davi.
After Bill.
It's a Daverhood. Yeah.
Wait, no, I can't see the people. I see the comments. I can't see the people.
It's all right. Well, certainly if I can't name check you and say hello by name, hello to everybody who's tuning in and watching. If we can figure out a way to get the names back, we'll let you know. But so first they give you this test where you have to answer those questions. And they can't do this for some reason on the same day. You have to pass that quiz first. And then months pass. That's the thing. The mills of New York State grind slowly, and they grind exceeding frustratingly. So you wait, and then they tell you, oh, if you're passed, and then you get an email, you passed. Do you want to take part 2? Which is, part 1 is meaningless without taking part 2, which is a typing test. And then 4 months later, you go into a room with, I think there were computers, and they actually did them on computers, not typewriters at this point. And clickety-clack, they give you like a 3-minute typing test. Boom, you're done. And then what they tell you is you find out essentially whether you passed.
You're supposed to find out.
Yeah, well, not how well you did, not where you rank in terms of everybody else. You just get to know whether you made it or you didn't make it. And even apparently the employers just get sort of an idea of, oh, you passed the first part and you did well enough on the typing test that blah, 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 blah. But somehow they sent me a thing where at the bottom that I was like number one out of everyone who took the civil service test that day. So I'm like, great, thank you much. You're not supposed to tell me that.
Going to call you, right? I mean, that's, oh my goodness, Michael, Nick, and Ted. I can only say when they join because then they go to Neverland.
So I'll try and call on you more often too. So Michael, Nick, and Ted, welcome. I hope, Ted, you have an excellent adventure.
Gwyneth joined before.
Gwyneth or Gareth?
Yeah, no, that was Gwyneth. There was a beautiful G name for a girl too.
Oh, well, hello, Gwyneth. Hey. I'm sorry, chicken fell over there. We're gonna get him more situated. So what happened then though was it was quiet for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then I started getting in the mail canvas letter after canvas letter from all these different places in New York State, in Nassau County, jobs that I would not really kill for because they're not well paying.
Cynthia also likes the movie. We have a whole movie.
Nobody's listening to me. Everybody's talking about Woody Allen and What's Up, Tiger Lily now. It's like, sorry, Hannah and Her Sisters is the best Woody Allen movie, but here we go. And I start getting these letters. Are you interested in this job? Are you interested in that? I mean, there have been times in my life when, I send a dozen resumes out and hear nothing from nobody. It's like I'm even in my 40s, I was over the hill to the world, even with my master's degrees, even with my work experience, even with my friggin' brain. It was like, no, not interested.
Somebody gave a shout out and said, love the chicken.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is there going to be a chicken battle?
There will not be a chicken battle. I'll take you on. I'm ready. It's potato. Stop. So.
Oh, now you got someone about civil service. They said civil service test opens doors. Yep, I'm going to say exactly.
It really does. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't open any doors to a palace. It doesn't open the door to the gates of heaven. It opens doors to slightly better paying, a bit above minimum wage slave jobs is what it does, with good benefits and decent unions. God bless them. So, but that is what happened. I became part of the.
People are shouting today.
Wonderful. that's part of the thing. If they're getting into what they're getting into and listening to me.
The right name of your union, I could CSEA.
Yes, it is. It is CSEA.
strong.
With the Empire Plan, so anything ever happens with my prostate
I
or
think you
Rabbi
do.
Saul's
While
prostate.
speaking, you should wear this and wear your mask of your.
Union proud, union strong, ladies and gentlemen. Local 8 is 882.
Paid for by chapter 82 of your local.
No, hey, on Long Island, a lot of people are anti-union. They're all right wing.
Really?
Yeah. Fire those air traffic controllers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And we wonder why 9/11 happened. So, but here's the deal. I start getting these.
What, David,
Yeah.
What does shack doors mean?
I beg your pardon. Hold on.
Can you explain this? Okay,
Oh,
there
I
we go.
got it.
There we go.
Yeah. No, in other words, they open the door to a shack, which is essentially
Oh, how did you? Yeah.
because I was talking about
nothing.
opening doors,
Oh,
and yeah, it opens doors to a shack, but at least those yurt doors were closed to me before this, and suddenly, because there's jobs I wouldn't have heard about, wouldn't have known about, but they're looking for civil service people in the system, and so here I was, and now it's getting very hard to resist them.
What's the song? I'm a lineman for the county. I'm putting that in.
Wichita lineman, I
am
probably
a
lineman for the county, and it's interesting because I also felt really bad in a way, because one thing about my union when I was working at the library, I said like when I was working at I was working at the library 15 hours ago. So not even. I left at 5 o'clock yesterday.
I
Well,
don't
it is
think you
15.
checked out.
What? Sorry.
I don't think you signed out.
I'm still working. I'm gonna get a double paycheck now. This is great. So, and what happened was when the pandemic hit, because we're a public facility, we stayed home, and we were supposed to do a little bit of work at home and clock in once a day and do something, which we all did or tried to do. But we received our benefits and we received our paychecks for about 3 months, right? And I know the board of the library wasn't thrilled about that, but they signed off about it, and they were okay. They knew in the middle of March and April and May, you don't just have people gathering in this, even just the workforce, because what are they going to do? They're going to touch all these books that other people have been touching. We don't know how long germs stay on them. We're going to be interacting with each other. Just close the building down, hose the facility down, stay home and do whatever work you can do. And some of them, the librarian people, there's work they can do online. I'm physical grunt. I'm just slamming physical books together. They're not going to ship me the books because that defeats the purpose anyway, because it's coming from a place I got to touch them, send them back. So I did this much work for my normal pay for about 3 months. So it made me really, there was a certain part of me that was like, and now, Dave, you're looking to leave? You got essentially almost like a 3-month vacation paid from this place that you've been working for only a year. So like I've been working there full time 25 years. And like, I'm entitled to more than 2 or 3 weeks a year. Like I'm taking it. No, it's like, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, you don't pay me enough of my regular salary, so I'm looking for other work. I even told some of the prospective employers that I was kind of looking, but kind of not. But then I went back to work. Day after day, doing the same boring sort of job, dealing with some of the same nutty people and some good people. And, and I'm thinking, I'm doing this and I'm trying to live in New York and thinking of trying to buy a place instead of still living with our folks. We're trying to save some money. And what I make here, it's almost embarrassing what I make, right? So I start looking, I start doing interviews and Zoom reviews.
You said not your fault.
That I'm looking for a better gig?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Not
Cynthia.
your fault.
Well,
You got it. Not your fault.
well, the pandemic certainly isn't my fault, and having to
She
stay
said
home.
You did nothing wrong. Tell Cynthia you're getting a little psychoanalyst.
Cynthia,
That's
you
great.
don't know me. I've done everything in my life. There isn't anything I've done right in my life. Thank you very much. But I appreciate the sentiment.
That's lovely.
Yeah, no, I really, that is really nice. Thank
She's
you.
a professional, so she may send you a bill.
She's also a teacher.
If,
So,
if she asks you your diagnostic code, then you know what's up.
My diagnosis is 882. There you go.
David, I'm gonna look that up.
Cynthia, can you mediate between these two? Because they're still like,
Uh-oh,
huff, huff, huff. They're still huffing. But don't be huffing butter. because you know what that does to your nose.
English.
Yeah. So I started, and finally something came along, and I'm getting about 5 to 10 canvas letters a week, and I've got sort of right of first refusal on a lot of these. I've got to tell them, no, I don't want to interview with you, as opposed to them disregarding my resumes like everybody else in the world.
Ew.
What, sorry?
Your diagnostic code 882 is open wound of the hand.
Oh,
Ew.
oh,
Why did you pick that one?
that's actually,
also mean neurosis except depressive.
oh, well, there you go. That's kind of me. Neurosis, but not quite depressive.
Or medical wound of the hand.
Jesus was an 882 code. If they pulled him down off the cross, it would have been like 882, you know.
No, that
Eight-
only has single digit codes.
They would have multiplied it by like 4 because he had also in the 2 legs.
What?
What?
She said we used to domination, meditation between spouses.
Mediation, I think she meant. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because he's a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we. Okay. So here, potatoes. Let's try this one more time.
Uh-oh.
Potato. The potatoes are on camera. Try being nice to each other, please. All right. How's the weather in Idaho?
They're worried about your code in the chat that you have a finger wound.
No, I wounded my knee yesterday.
Oh.
I buried my heart there. Little obscure joke there, but no, I banged into like the side of my bed, and I got a little slight bloody wound in my knee. Oh, weepy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's been that kind of week.
Not good. No.
So, so I gave what do I? And finally, I said, do I want to travel this far? Do I want to drive 15 miles every day to make this amount of money? And you get these letters, these ridiculous form letters that say, are you interested in interviewing for this job? Click yes and send a resume, fine. And they also have this list of, if you're not interested, why are you not interested in this job? Is it because it's too far away? Is it because it's not enough money? And there's never like combination of the two. There's never like, well, you know, I would drive to not Secaucus, Setauket, Long Island, if you paid me $90,000 a year. Yeah, if you're paying me $33,000 a year, I'm not driving. There's never the combo thing. It's like choose one.
Uh-oh. Cynthia said you cannot have peace among the potatoes because they're siblings.
Oh, they're spudlings,
Yeah,
actually.
you
Yeah,
can't
they're
have
not siblings, they're spudlings, but it's true. It's true. Oh, well, that is unfortunate. You're just rubbing salt in my wounds, which feels really, really good for a potato.
Here we go.
That's actually funny. I will give you that one. Am I funny to you? Am I a comedian? Am I like a clown to you? I'm just saying, am I a clown? Huh? Let's see. Oh no, I'm the funny guy. I'm the funny guy to you. This is just not good. It's always tough to introduce new. Oh, why didn't I think of this? Potato. Let's see how this goes. Potato, look. I'm saving this. This does not need to be seen yet. But here. Potato, look for you. Hunt's beautiful tomato ketchup, a packet you don't have to share. Here you go. Oh, thank you. What about me?
So somebody said you're just buttering them up now.
Oh, that joke has some appeal. Yeah, I'm sorry. And now other potato, wait, who's the new potato?
He's the skinny one.
Yeah, this is our previous potato. The skinny one. You get delicious, your own packet of cat. Oh, mummies, Sir Kensington.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
No.
You get Sir Kensington,
No.
and I get Hunts. I get Hunts.
Here.
Wait. I'm sorry, it was a clerical mistake, potato. I'll be making lots of those over the next couple of weeks. You were supposed to also get your very own packet of Sir Kensington ketchup.
David,
what? Is there a potato
pun?
come?
David said, where do potato prostitutes come from?
Wait, where do potato prostitutes come from? I don't know. Where do potato prostitutes come from?
Idaho.
Yeah.
And people are laughing at it.
Yeah.
There's a whole potato discussion going on in here.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Don't watch this stupid show. Watch YouTuber. Ah! All right, all right. See, they can get along with it. What? What?
Are they gonna get along?
They're gonna get along what? No, but by the way, it's just after 10 o'clock Eastern time here in the Daverhood, where we're doing Dave's Gone By, the 759th edition of the program, featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. We're calling this episode Blake Livelier because we've got Leslie Hoban Blake is going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour to play our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz in a new format we're going to try out. She'll be competing against my cousins, Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch, live on the show. So don't tell me about another.
Please don't go off your face.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yep. Yeah. You know, and you know what their favorite show to watch on YouTuber is?
What?
MASH.
Wow,
Oh, you're good. No, you're good. No, you're good. Let's shake hands and be friends.
Now? Are they friends?
Yay! Friends forever, any kind of weather. Let's share catch up together. See, I told you, it just took a little time.
That's beautiful.
And now they're friends, they're great. And now we have
That's
to,
beautiful. It's like melodrama.
we just have to introduce them to all our other potatoes. So that, what you just saw is going to happen about 400 more times, where we deal. That's what we do on Dave's Gone By. On this Saturday, August 15th, 2020, we've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We've got our Wretched Pun of Destiny, Inside Broadway. What?
With the potato getting along, you got a groan from Cynthia.
Oh, yeah, yeah. See.
Poor potatoes.
Well, you know, as long as I don't dig up dirt on each other.
Oh.
I apologize. I do. Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
No.
You know what? Yukon Gold, Icon Gold too.
Uh-oh,
What?
Cousin Fry's not happy. We've got a whole, like,
Yeah, there's stuff going
there's a
on.
whole potato backstory. I think potato should have, like, well, they should have a portion of the show, you know, like, beyond potato news for them.
Really? We're gonna,
I
yeah.
think they're,
Maybe. We'll see. Let's see how our trivia quiz goes today. If that falls completely apart, we may have a potato
oh
show.
my God, they're vegging out. We've got, like, potato.
Yeah. I want to rake you over the coals for that one, but no, that was terrible. That wasn't even good. That was just yeah. I guess I'm out of sorts because you know potatoes are sorted in them. All right. What was I talking? I was talking about my new gig.
Oh,
Yeah.
someone wants to animate them. I guess make them into, like,
Oh well, yeah, that
like
was
anime.
well, kind of like the small potatoes. If you guys have ever seen those, and I'd love this. I mean, just after the show, go Google small potatoes. Was it? Yeah, cartoon. I'm gonna make it songs and cartoons that they have. It's kind of
We have
great.
somebody called Gat who joined, G-A-T-T.
Gat. Wow.
And another David.
How about that?
Bill and a Julie.
Dave and a Bill and a Julie, welcome to Dave's Gone By. So the deal is, I take off a couple of days this week from my now former job, because I'm entitled to them, because I built, you know, I try not to take sick days so I can build them up. And once you know, I have to quit in less than 2 weeks, which means I lose my sick days. I don't get paid for them. I could have taken them off, and instead I lose them. But it's all right. I take a couple of days off. As I said, I felt bad for taking 3 months off, so a couple of extra days I owe them. Fine. But I come in half a day yesterday, yeah, and part of me doesn't want a fuss of any kind. And part of me hopes, well, maybe they'll all be in the conference room, socially distanced, with a
like
cake
or
and
your
masks.
present.
And it's like, you know, little fake crocodile tears of farewell and a nice signed card from him. Nothing.
Aw.
Nobody's in it. Half the people are not even in that day. Not a blessed thing. It's like I wasn't there.
Aw.
And understand that, again, even though I've been there for decades, it hasn't been full time, and I've been there only a year full time. So it's not, you don't feel bad about losing somebody who's been over there only a few months and kind of screwed you over in a way because they made this job
No,
for
but
me.
You opened a position that they can now hire. So
If the board lets them
well,
hire
they'll have
somebody.
somebody internal move in. I know how it goes.
Well, that'd be great if that works out for someone in particular. And this is the person I want to talk about. And I know she's not watching, so I can say this. So I don't get, half the people still don't even know that I've gone. They're going to be working there for 3 more weeks. And they're going to be, hey, whatever happened to that guy? Wait, he quit. He left. He's working in another town now over at the school district. And like, oh.
Somebody sent you a gift of a potato dancing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Da-da-da-da.
Someone said no cake, no farewell. Sounds like The Office to me.
Yeah, we were a dysfunctional crew. There's no question we were.
All jobs are like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, but mine was a little, at least the area where I was working is a bit more dysfunctional than some of the rest. Because there's one guy I vaguely talked about him who was very mid-functioning autistic, and I'm not saying that as a joke or anything else. It's the kind I do the kind of work that a person who is barely out of an institution can do, and we had someone like that working with us who had very good physical motor skills, but absolutely no people skills at all. And we were just trying to sort of leave him in his corner and avoid him because he would get onto these insane jags. And he's like, yeah, it's him. And so I dealt with that 4 days a week. And then there's another guy who's actually kind of internally very nice, but most of the time he's really sarcastic and doesn't want to deal with anybody, me or you included. He's just like, if you make the slightest mistake, he makes you think like, how can you get this wrong after working here 75 years? What's the matter with you?
The people who do that, that's mean.
Yeah, he could be kind of mean. And other times he was kind of okay, right? And kind of cool. It's just one of those, but this is what everybody works with. I know that. This is typical The Office, whether it's the UK office, whether it's Jim and Pam, other office behavior. It is what it is, right? But it wasn't a bad job in the sense that because it was stupid physical grunt work, half the time I could put on my headsets, listen to music, listen to like audiobook Anna Karenina, and just do it and ignore all these people who didn't want to deal with me. I don't want to deal with them. It's fine. But there were also some really sweet and nice people that I dealt with there too.
So you're getting a lot of love. People are saying The Office is going to miss you and all your nonsense and like fun, and that they're going to miss that.
They're not, because I didn't even get to do that there. I would have been so much more.
When you left, the color left as well. Like it's
oh,
isn't that nice?
Thank you. All these people are saying, who's saying these things?
This is Ryan.
Are these all my relatives? Who's Ryan?
No, I don't know. Nice man.
But that is so. My one, because they weren't into my jokes and my craziness. I just come in, start doing my work, avoid.
Get you? They didn't understand.
It's civil service. They want to grind the life out of you so you just get the job done. And they don't necessarily want the job done really quickly and fast. They want it done well, but they don't want you
throw the curve.
Doing better or just do the job, go home. Do the job, go home.
Our friend's daughter had that. She excelled and people hated her. She actually got fired because she pushed the curve, remember?
Right. I mean, I pushed the curve and they actually eventually appreciated it, that somehow books were now moving much quicker out of our area back into the hands of patrons where they could actually use them. And at first it was a push-pull because I had my ways, right? And I was like, well, if we pre-do these things, we don't have to wait until the last minute to do them then. It's like, and eventually they kind of got accustomed to me, I got accustomed to them and settled in, but I also wasn't like the same Dave that I was when I was running like playbill.com. When they have to listen to my jokes,
The person who's writing all the jokes is a comedian.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
He's a comedian.
In Texas yet? Wow.
Hold on, where's the thing?
I didn't think there was anything funny about Texas, but there you go.
Yeah.
So,
he said, be the light. I see you can't do normal. That's great to me.
Thank you. I see you can't do normal.
But he said he can't too. He does Purple Tomato Comedy. I don't know what that is. That's his company.
Well, Purple Tomato.
Uh-oh.
We should talk.
David,
No,
have your people call potatoes people?
we should really talk.
Oh no.
This is kind of like the guy I work with. Well, no, he's worse than that.
Hey.
But there was one girl.
This is wrong. It should be worked.
Right. I can't do the pre. It's sort of like when police investigate a murder and they talk to the spouse and the spouse starts talking in the present tense. And there's kind of a clue that she didn't kill him because she still thinks someone is alive. But so I get this. So one girl who's really, really sweet, but also really nervous and really kind of, you know, so she can't, the guy I was talking about before who can be an asshole sometimes, she couldn't deal with him at all. She's like terrified of him. And I'm like, he's not terrifying. He's just kind of pissy sometimes. There's no reason to be scared of him.
But you don't know what people's triggers are.
Yeah, no, she'd be triggered by, well, anybody would be triggered by this. But I tell her yesterday that, you know, oh, yeah, really nice to know you. You know, really, you're a really sweet person. Great to. And she was really effusive and really. She said, "Oh, you're such a." She said a lot of nice things about me that are externally true but internally false. It's just this wonderful personality, and I'm such a breath of fresh air in that room. And yeah, because I make people think I am. Deep down, I'm much, much worse than the cynical guy, and Joyce knows it.
No, but you're also very lovely.
Yeah, but and these are the kinds of things that she was saying, and so you know, I said, "Oh, thank you ever so much." I would have if it hadn't been a pandemic. I would have hugged and fingered her, but I didn't. You know, I just said, "Thank you very much." And but there's that other. These are the kinds of people I'm working with, because she was really sweet, and then she said, "You know, I'm hoping it really goes well for you, and remember that everything is in God's hands." And if you just put your faith in God and if you go with God, and I'm like, okay, all right, thank you very much. And then she starts getting on this jag because she's kind of a born again person. It's like, you know, none of this world matters, and it's all about, you know, if you just go and give yourself to God, and God will protect you. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks. So it's so good to see you. And I swear to God, she's one of these people. I had no idea. I mean, I knew she was very religious.
I know who it is.
And I know I don't think you ever met her. She wasn't at the dinner thing. So
you know what's weird? I think when you leave a job, people start being more real with you because you're no longer there. Yeah. You know, like they'll tell you the truth. You know, it's like.
Well, she was always very sweet, and she was always very, very nice to me.
Oh my
nice
God, Brian says you're a nut. We all see it.
Yes, I am. But I'm not this nutty. She actually comes to the room later and hands me one of these. And anybody who's in New York knows what I'm about to hold up. You know, if you've been on the subway, if you've been near a phone booth, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, like, oh my friends. God,
Stan is back.
Stan. Oh, Stan used to watch the show back when we were in Colorado. Oh, well, welcome, Stan. Welcome. And Stan, everybody who watches this show is a best friend. And she actually hands me one of these books that is, you know, if you're a New Yorker, you've seen these put everywhere of proselytizers, I don't want to call them Jesus freaks, but that's what they are. They're these cartoon graphic novels, long before graphic novels became really so popular in every genre, of trying to convince you of how important Jesus is going to be in your life, courtesy of the Iglesia Cristiana in Rehoboth, out on Long Island. This is so.
Chick Tract.
It says Chick Publications.
How does he know that? Uh-oh.
No, it's not Chicken Publications.
The chickens are going to start fighting if they're calling.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't. See, it's been hot here in New York, so one chicken has been just sucking the same ice cream cone for a week or two, and the other chicken kind of wants it. Oh no, they're not. I don't.
No.
Oh no, I don't think they're fighting. I think.
No. They're going to start it.
Yeah, I don't. No. This is not fighting. Oh. Uh-oh, this one can't breathe. Like, well, uh-oh. Oh, this is good. This is not good. Yeah, do it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I honestly do think cockfighting should be illegal, and yet here we have it on the show. It's an interesting program.
God, someone said they're making eggs. Jeez, what is going on with this group of people?
What? They're telling yolks. Am I white about that?
Oh,
I'll have to put all this on my next record album. I'm just a shell of my former self. I don't know. But I'm scrambling for material. You know that. I hope it goes over easy. You can tell I've done these before, right? So, yeah. Thank you ever so
There's, like,
much.
craziness in your group.
Yeah, well, I'm Omelette Prince of Denmark. That's right. So here's the deal. Here's the thing. I got this yesterday. I haven't read it. Normally if somebody hands this to me, I'd like just crumple it and drop it on the ground. I'm like, hello.
Cynthia says she needs an emoji, and Stan says, "Oi."
Right. Normally, because I'd be offended. I'd be like, hello, I'm Jewish. Not going in the Jesus place. Not now. Not ever. I'm not going to be like Bob Dylan in a hotel room on several drugs, hallucinating and thinking I'm seeing
Oh my
Jesus talking to
God.
me. It's not going to happen. So, yeah.
David,
Yeah.
Do you remember that soup packet you had that was some flavored soup? I'm gonna show you
Nor?
in a second.
Oh, yes.
I gotta show you in a
I
second.
used to have this in my office back at Playbill. This is fantastic. It's a Jamaican brand coming out of Brooklyn, I think, where it's chicken flavored soup, but they don't call it that. I had this packet, I hope they still make it, called
Stan shared it with you.
cock flavored soup. And there it is. That's the exact packet. I think they changed the labeling a little
Why?
bit.
I don't know why.
Yeah, and it was, I would see this. I would have this on my desk every day with a potato, and it was this yellow bag of cock flavored soup made by this company that is where, obviously in Jamaica, the word, different connotations. The first thing that you think of is a chicken, as opposed to, So I want to go on eBay and get a packet of that. Just to have that again. Oh, anyway. Man, what a show.
Cynthia said, "What is that? An egg in his mouth?" And then Stan said, "It's very popular on the west side." So I think they want to know what's in the chicken's mouth.
Oh.
Something's popular on the west side. I don't know.
What was in the chicken? It was an ice cream,
What's very
bar.
popular on the west side? The soup?
I guess. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe on the West Side Highway or where there's South Asian and Jamaican
New
people.
York or west side of Jamaica?
I don't know. Anyway, West Jamaica Mountain. Anyway, so this she gives to me, and because she's such a sweet person, and because she really was a nice girl the whole time I've known her, and also she's got, she's a neurasthenic, nervous kind of girl. I'm like, I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm Jewish, go away from me with this. I'm like, thank you very much. I'll give it a look. Well, I'm not going to give it a look, but I know who will.
Cynthia said, "What is that?" Oh, the icon you sent. Oh, Mayflower.
Rabbi Saul Solomon will be reading this as part of story time on Dave's Gone By. So story time we haven't done in a couple of months now, where I read other people's material, or sometimes Rabbi Saul would. We're gonna pop into this happy little book that the kind girl at the place I was working gave to me just yesterday, which actually means it still has her COVID germs on it, and the COVID germs of the pastor who gave it to her, and probably everybody in the congregation. I don't know, maybe what happens is they all lick the book and then want to give it to me if I'm Jewish, but they'll give me the cure if they know that I'm going to convert. Doubtful.
No, David, we watched all those documentaries on Netflix. You know how.
I know. But anyway, that too on Dave's Gone By. I can't believe it's 20 after 10 already in the Daverhood. But I do want to give a shout out to all the folks I was working with, most of whom were very, very nice most of the time, as was I. So that was the last thing of like, how at the end of the Mary Tyler Moore series and like the MASH series, they have to all do these big farewell and goodbye things. So you have the lead character leaving town, everything's packed up. This room, this set that they've been in for 10 or 15 years is now not going to happen again. For them as actors and for the character themselves and for all of us who've been tuning in week after week and welcoming them into our lives as friends and almost family. And then they have that moment where they turn the lights out and walk away. So I had that, tried to have that yesterday, right? Because as I said, it was a kind of skeletal staff yesterday, especially upstairs where we've been working. None of my crew was in. Nobody was in the break room, the conference. So I just kind of take my last 5 or 10 minutes and just stand in the room and walk around and look around and was trying to feel something and realized I'm like Priscilla Lopez in a chorus line. I didn't. I wanted to feel like, oh my God, I'm not coming back here after 1 year, after a year and a half, after 35, 40 years. I won't be working here. I tried to inhale and take it in and feel sorrow or feel, all I felt was ambivalence. All I sort of felt was, okay, I'm not going to be here on Monday. I'm going to be somewhere else. And it wasn't hatred. It wasn't like I was leaving a job that I despised or leaving, for the most part, people that I did not on some level like or respect. They were okay, even the ones I didn't particularly like. It was just like, I'm outie. There was no big party for me. That's fine. I didn't really want it. And at the same time, I'm like, I don't have to say goodbye to everybody. People find out I'm gone 2 weeks from now. It's all right too. I'm just going. I wonder if that's a function of age. I'm kind of like realizing that everything passes, everything changes, and you only get really weepy nostalgic about things that you really love or things from way back that were integral to childhood and teenhood and stuff. And then once you're older than that, you're working at a cruddy job for a little while, walk away and feel like, shoulder shrug, I'm out. And I can always, and I'm the kind of person who wants to hold on to things. I'm the person who wants to cling to things. I told them, hey, if you need somebody part-time to come in on evenings or weekends when someone's on vacation to do some stuff, fine, not able to fully let go. And maybe that's part of my psyche too. But I was kind of hoping I'd feel something more. And just was like, I'll still be taking books out. I'll probably be back within a week or so. He's like, you all miss me? And people will be like, oh, you left. Such is my life, ladies and gentlemen, such is my life. Anyway, so all of that happening on Dave's Gone By, it's almost, oh my God, it's almost 10:30 already. We've done nothing except like this and this and of course this on the program so far. So shall we get to Greeley Crimes and Old Times, my dear? We've got the quiz at 11 o'clock, our brand new version of it on Zoom, featuring Leslie Hoban Blake, Jeffrey Kirsch, and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. We've got our Inside Broadway segment, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, our Wretched Pun of Destiny. Oh my goodness. And Rabbi Saul doing story time. What a show. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce and I had been living in Colorado, in northern Colorado.
They said you should have stubbed your toe on the way out. You would have felt something.
That's right. I was going to take like a scissors or something, and just kind of like, and like, oh, 882, help.
Workman's comp.
Yeah, right. Here we go. Greeley, Colorado, where Joyce and I lived for the better part of a decade, and sometimes the worst part of a decade. And this is their daily newspaper, except it's not daily anymore. It's 4 times a week, the Greeley Tribune. And of course, I will share this for all our new viewers. I share this every week. This was an actual front page headline. All the ways a tree can kill you. This is an actual photograph. There's nothing doctored about this. There are trees in Centennial Park that will grab a knife and hurt you bad. Right? But the Greeley Tribune does have a cool sense of humor about it. I sometimes go off on them and get a little mad because I kept begging for a job there and they never gave me one. But still, I enjoy their 2 columns that they do every week. The Cop Log, which is based on phone calls that come into the Weld County Police Dispatch of people observing strange behavior locally. And also 100 years ago, our friend Mike Peters goes through what the newspaper was back in 1920 for bits that were published in the paper that are, to modern eyes, silly or nostalgic or goofy or funny. We mix them all up in a segment that we like to call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. La 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 la, fiddly indeed we. Greeley Crimes and Old Times, ladies and gentlemen. We do it every week here on Dave's Gone By. It's a fun segment, especially because I don't have to do any actual work. I just grab these from the Greeley Tribune newspaper. And by the way, shout out to Trevor Reed, because he's the guy who actually goes through the cop log and picks the weirdest phone calls and reports that come into the police department of Weld County. Are you ready, my dear? Who says that there's nothing to do in Greeley during the coronavirus? Greeley police arrested a man masturbating in Lincoln Park late last Friday morning. They, is that the noise he makes? Yeah, he's playing with his tiddly too. They received multiple calls and social media messages alerting the department to the man's indecent behavior.
How many people were watching him?
I wonder.
Prankster.
Well, you know, they can't do theater in a building. So he's doing his solo show. It has rising action, like a proper play. And of course, it has a climax.
Too soon.
The denouement gets kind of messy, but you know. Anyway, there's more about him. A guy, they named him and shamed him. Jesse Barboza, age 33, was arrested at 11 a.m. by 4 Greeley police officers after he was spotted masturbating on a bench near the playground. Yeah, but there's no kids on the playground, you know? He has to imagine them instead. It's not as much fun. Oh my gosh! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, so early in the segment, Lupton alert! Lupton alert! Oh, I didn't realize this was coming so quickly, my friend. Neither did he. Haha. When we get any kind of story about Fort Lupton, Colorado, this is very important. Even if the story's not that funny, it is important to me because I just love the name Lupton. Say it with me, won't you? Lupton. Say Lupton with me, will you? Lupton. Lupton. It's a Lupton alert.
Lupton. Alert, 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 alert.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is.
The Fort Lupton Tourism Bureau should use that. That's
They really.
the biggest excitement that that bureau has.
That would get people to move to Fort Lupton. Let me tell you, we have a Lupton alert, and it's kind of a cute alert. 6 kittens and their mother.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait. Oh my goodness. Oh. I know the movie Cats was bad, but seriously, 6 kittens and their mother will soon be placed in a foster home after they were rescued from a storm drain in Fort Lupton. Lupton! Do you feel properly alerted, hon?
I feel there's never any trouble in Fort Lupton land.
There's never any trouble here in Lupton land. In Lupton
I don't
land.
even know which town it would be.
Neither do I. Oh, there's an editorial here going back to 1920. This is an old time piece from the 100 years ago column in the Greeley Tribune. The editorial reads, and again, this falls into more things stay the same. With much political controversy going on these days, newspapers have been accused of providing, quote, too much propaganda and too little information. We would hope the readers of the Tribune Republican know that our reporters and editors are unbiased in all areas.
Wow.
And yet, of course, somehow the paper back then was called the Tribune Republican. So we know their coverage was fair and balanced back in 1920, don't
Maybe
we?
they meant about the Republic, you know. Like,
Oh, I'm sure they did.
wait, Carol Baskin would be proud. Oh, and you know who joined? Jeff Goodman just joined the watch party.
Well, Jeff, you know, where the hell were you last week? I'd like to know. Well, welcome, Jeff. And Carol I know, you know who Carol Baskin is.
I don't know, honey.
She was the woman who may have murdered her husband and married the other guy and was taking over the Tiger King
Oh, yes.
empire. So she was kind of robbing him of his livelihood, which makes her Baskin Robbins and very flavorful. Ah,
Oh, I
ah.
remember her. She was the one that the second husband said like they couldn't find the first husband, and then they were saying that the first husband might be fed to lions.
Yeah,
and stuff.
pretty much. Yeah, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And oh my, we have our happy story of the day.
What is it?
Because the times are so tough
Is it
and so
Hyde,
difficult.
Maria Feldman Marcheska?
Who that?
I don't know.
Anyway, we have a happy story
Oh.
from 120 years ago. We all need something happy, don't we?
Jeff said he's very sorry I had jet lag last week.
Oh, well, okay. What, you waited a whole week to tell me? You couldn't have woken up on Saturday afternoon and texted me? Oh, I get mad, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's my dark side coming out. Let it out, Daddy. Let it out. Yeah. I've now, these two are best friends, but they're serving as kind of the good spud angel on this shoulder and kind of the devil spud angel on this shoulder. Let it out. But you're supposed to be the good potato. What about you? Kill. Oh no, this is not good at all. All right. Happy story of the day. 3-year-old Charles Karowski slipped into the number 3 ditch yesterday. He floated in the water for a block and then went under the bridge. George Day, age 8, saw the boy and jumped into the ditch to rescue him. And the young Karowski suffered only a bad cold. So just wanted to share that from 100 years ago. And think about it. One kid was 3, the other was 8.
Oh,
By
no,
now they're
no.
both dead.
So then now there are people just talking to each other in your.
Oh, that's fine. Let them talk. Let them all talk, as Elvis Costello would say. Moving on to another Greeley crime. On August 3rd, Weld County Animal Control Officer Caitlin Perun responded to a report of kittens meowing. Those are kind of rabid kittens for meowing, I gotta tell you. They were under a long piece of steel covering a drain outside the agency's southeast substation in, oh wait, I'm sorry, this is still part of the Fort Lupton alert.
Oh.
This is more about the drain. There was so much more to this. I'm sorry. I shortchanged the Fort Lupton alert. What happened was the kittens were under a long piece of steel under a substation in Fort Lupton. Fort Lupton Animal Control Officer Terry Assay assisted with the call, and the 2 officers rescued all 6 4-week-old kittens.
Can we have one?
Well, the mother cat was too scared to move, so the officer called 2 firefighters who removed the covering of the drain and got the mama cat. And this is amazing. As first responders worked the scene, 2 good Samaritans helped. One watched the kittens as efforts focused on rescuing the mama cat, and the others helped rescue the mother. All the cats were dewormed, vaccinated, and in good health.
That's why you love Fort Lupton.
While first sorry. Yeah.
There's more?
No, that was all. I
Oh my
reprinted
God,
it, yeah.
that's like the longest.
Well, I like my Fort Lupton things to go on for a while. I do.
You love Fort Lupton.
I love Fort Lupton. Love it. I love it. I love Fort Lupton. Here's a bit. Let's see. Do I need some old news or new news? A little bit of old news here, and this is from me and I think all of us. Congratulations to Theophilus Fitz, former professor at Greeley State Teachers College. He now lives in Texas. What do you think happened?
I don't know.
Why are they wishing him a very, very happy from this former teacher
Did he retire?
in the school that essentially became the school where Joyce and I were teaching? No, he moved to Texas, got himself a house and some land.
Oh, began a school?
No, they struck oil. They found oil in Texas. He's been offered $1 million for his property. Meanwhile, F.W. Bisbee of Greeley, he made $500,000 this week because he owned 1 million acres of land in Mexico, and he sold it for 50 cents an
Why did
acre.
Jeff Goodman write the word coronavirus?
I don't know why he wrote the word coronavirus. I can't say that I know that. Let me, one thing that we do,
Oh, he thought it was that. I'm going to say, what?
we're going to go elsewhere for our next really crime in old times. So not everything, almost everything we talk about in this segment is Greeley related or Northern Colorado related. But each week we go further afield for a weird story in the news. And this one, this is magnificent. This goes to Florence, Oregon. Florence, Oregon.
What is?
Yeah.
David says it was about the congratulations thing.
Congratulations to Theophilus Fitz, perhaps.
Oh, got it.
And if the Theophilus fits, wear it. A newly named Oregon park commemorates an important and gory piece of local history. The dynamiting of a dead whale that took place 50 years ago. This is magnificent, folks. Yeah, this goes so far beyond trying to name that military ship Bodie McBoatface. This goes beyond. They've named in Florence, Oregon, the park Exploding Whale Memorial Park, named for the explosive event of November 12th, 1970. That is when local officials blew up a beached and decomposing sperm whale measuring 45 feet and weighing 8 tons. And this is on YouTube. You can find it, folks. Local news filmed the spectacular explosion, whose aftermath showered everything and everyone in the immediate vicinity with bits of dead whale. In 1970, what happened was a dead, decaying sperm whale washed up near Florence, and it posed a serious health hazard. Well, it was too big to drag away or to bury, so officials chose to get rid of the stinking corpse with dynamite. They figured they would blast it to bite-sized pieces that then birds and crabs would go and eat and clean away. Unfortunately, when engineers set off half a ton of explosives, their calculations were a tad imprecise. I'm reading this here. And the humor of the situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. Pieces of meat passed high over our heads, said a witness, while others were falling at our feet. Spectators fled in all directions, escaping the awful smell and the rain of rotted whale flesh. One hefty slab of whale landed on a parked car a quarter-mile away and crushed the roof.
Oh my God.
Everyone nearby was drenched with dead whale. And the great thing is, after the explosion, much of the whale's body was still in chunks too big for scavengers to cart off, so the demolition crew still had to go and bury the carcass. Now, November would have marked the 50th anniversary of the whale's Big Bang, so the town in Southern Oregon was going to announce the park's new name at the annual Florence Rhododendron Festival.
Name it Whale Town or something.
Well, they had a special theme this year, Blast from the Past.
Oh no, really?
This is, none of this is made up. This is absolutely all 100% true. As Broadway Danny Rose would say, it's the emis.
Did they cut it out though, like your Potato Day celebration?
Well, here's the deal. The festival had to be canceled owing to COVID. So the city just unveiled its new sign quietly. Residents submitted 124 names to rename the park, and there were 9 finalists. Most of the names were about the natural beauty of the park in Florence, Oregon. For example, Rolling Tides Community Park, Dune View Park, Little Tree Park. Winning in a landslide, however, Exploding Whale Memorial Park. And by the way, just so you know, current policy in the state of Oregon dictates that beached dead whales must be buried and not blown up. Yeah. And if you think I spout off on this program, let me tell you. So
somebody asked, Brian asked, what kind of umbrella would you need for that rain?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Remember they in the video, the people on the beach who were moved back were like, we had dead whale parts on all of us. There were dead whale parts everywhere.
Yeah, actually, what happens is a 16-year-old girl gets home from a date with her boyfriend, and like her parents are waiting up, and they're like, "What, do we smell sperm?" And she's like, "It was a whale." She can actually get away with it. Don't even know what that means. And I think you do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing our Greeley Crimes and Old Time segment here on Dave's Gone By. Let's do one or two more of these. A caller on 44th Avenue wanted to know how many marijuana plants someone could have at home. Quote, not at this address, but a different one. And unconnected, supposedly, a caller reported his neighbors were blowing marijuana smoke into his window. The caller was concerned because, quote, the neighbors like to get high and grill, but they don't know how to grill food. Unquote. So the marijuana is no problem. The getting high and touching hot mechanical is no problem.
You know,
but the way they cook.
He watches too many cooking shows.
He does.
Everybody's a critic, you know?
He needs Big Dave Venable. I was like, whoa,
Everybody's
ho.
a critic. I mean, God, if they're high, be thankful they got the munchies. They're probably going to eat anything.
Oh, Mary, we've got some cooking on the grill today. Oh, we got ribs. Let me just have another toke of them.
No, you know what he
Oh,
likes?
good weed, happy dance.
You know what he likes? He likes those pot stickers, and he likes mac and cheese.
Oh.
That's his two favorites.
Don't be burning the pot stickers on the grill. Oh, Mary, I would tell my mama. Oh, back in the day. Oh. Somehow Big Dave is morphing into Charles Nelson Riley,
Yeah, he does.
which actually could happen.
Or Paul Lynn. He has a Paul Lynn feel.
No, Paul Lynn is more like this. This is Paul Lynn. Big Dave is more southern. Oh, mama. Oh, happy
But he told me
dance.
he said, shut the front door. Right?
Shut the front door. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna
Almost 15 minutes till quiz time.
we're gonna shut the hut door on this segment of Greeley Crimes and Old Times with one more piece here. Let's do
One to Friendly. Shout out one to Friendly.
oh, are they here? Oh,
I
well,
took off my glasses. I can't see, but right this moment. But I would give them a one for them.
well, here's our last one, and this is so appropriate considering what Rabbi Saul will be reading in a little bit. A caller on police responded. Police responded to a report of suspicious activity outside of a church on 20th Street. It was the church pastor. Yeah, nothing gets past her.
Wow.
And ladies and gentlemen, yes, we're milking this, and it's pasteurized milk here.
Wouldn't the collar give them away? You know, the black outfit, the collar, and the cross. I mean,
Well, actually, youth pastors do they dress like priesty people?
oh, Ryan's gotta go.
Oh no. Well, don't fly Ryanair, I'll tell you that. Well, bye-bye, Ryan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, Ryan, if you want to see the rest of this program, and I know you do.
I mean, it's sad that he's going.
Yeah, but remember, you can go on this Facebook page when the show's over, give it a couple of minutes, and the archive will be here. So it won't be live, but you can watch the whole show and the whole rest of the show, or go on davesgoneby.com. That is our official archive site, davesgoneby.com, where we have last week's program, the video and the audio. We also have our very first show and all the shows in between, davesgoneby.com. What's up, Ed?
Did you have an alert that your friend Jeff, who flies all the time, said Ryanair is out of business?
Oh, they went out.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well. Oh, I guess you had to take Ryan Train then. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times, only one of the activities that we do on Dave's Gone By. Remember, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, our Wretched Pun of Destiny, story time coming up, and very exciting, in about 15 minutes, our trivia quiz, our revamped, or at least for this week, Today, Yesterday quiz, where we will be pitting my friend, theater critic Leslie Hoban Blake against my cousins and friends, Cynthia Shub and Jeffrey Kirsch. Yeah, did I get that? Cynthia Shub Kirsch, Jeffrey Kirsch, her husband. Yeah, what's up, Ed? So before we get to that, though, I've talked about Playbill a little while ago, And I've been a playwright, an actor, a director, and a theater journalist for well over 30 years now. And I guess I kind of stopped a few months ago. Who knows if it'll ever pick up again. But I still love the theater. I love sharing theater and talking about it. So ladies and gentlemen, every week we do a segment called Inside Broad. Ooh, a lot of things with Broadway in them. Let me do that a little better. Here we, whoa, no. That's a little strange. Here.
It's the famous gay white way where the night is bright as day. Ain't Broadway grand?
It's not just a thoroughfare, it's a tingle in the air.
Tingle.
Ain't Broadway grand?
It is, ladies and gentlemen. So even though there's no theater per se to talk about in terms of major commercial theater on Broadway or pretty much almost anywhere, I still want to let you know how theater is doing and the progress of it so that you can gird your loins for when theater returns in, one hopes, early 2021. As you know, and as I repeat every sad week, Broadway shows were suspended on March 12th, and they are currently on official hiatus until January 3rd. I got a press release from a longtime press agent that I've known that put a bit of a chill in my blood, because the January 3rd deadline, which is all I've heard, is that the time then productions will start up again in terms of backstage, and they'll get things really ready and put people together so that shows can resume literally a year after they stopped. In mid-March and early April, Broadway will ramp up again. This particular press agent was saying that she's hearing June, and I mean June of 2021. Wow. So that maybe she's just, she's not always accurate. She's not always, I don't know what she's hearing. But I don't know. All I'm saying is, for now, January 3rd is the reset date to some extent. But even that has had this slow chilling effect. That's the other thing that really happened this week, especially in the entertainment industry. More shoes began dropping. I think what happened was people, and they were kind of naive like me, in the sense that we'll get through the summer, okay? Summer's quiet anyway. Nothing will happen in the summer. We'll live off our savings. We'll take voiceover work. We'll try and take some other jobs. We'll move out of our expensive New York apartment. We'll save money. But, after come Labor Day, things are going to start crackling. They're going to stop popping. And before you know it, it'll be 2021, and it'll be January, and jobs will happen. And then by March, April, May, and by the summer, boom, we're off to the races. But there's suddenly this sinking, despairing sense setting in. And companies that were furloughing people, but still giving them benefits and paying them, are now not in a position to do that. People are now really losing jobs by the score and losing livelihoods, and shows are kind of giving up the ghost. So this week, a few rough, unfortunate things owing to this whole pandemic. First of all, the long-running, and I do mean long-running show, Then She Fell, which opened back in March of 2013. It played in Brooklyn. It was a sort of an immersive, experiential show. I didn't get to see it, but the story was told in different rooms in this building. And you as an audience member chose to follow the show where you wanted to, and go into this room for this scene, and go into another room for a different scene, with everybody staying in character, kind of like a further iteration of Tony and Tina's Wedding, if you will, or a show I saw many, many years ago about Tamara Lempitsky, where they did something like this, although I'm sure this is much beyond that technologically and in terms of storytelling. Very popular show. In fact, it ran 4,444 performances before going on hiatus March 11th of this year. So we're just about to celebrate an anniversary, right? Third Rail Company, the producers of the show, said this week that they could just not keep paying the associated costs of keeping the show alive without some kind of definitive time or plan for its returning. And so therefore, the show will not reopen. And Then She Fell, which was written by Zach Morris and played in various places in Brooklyn, is now, it's just going to close. It just will not reopen. It's gone, a victim of COVID. Also, the John Gore organization laid off 100 employees who were previously furloughed. Their jobs are now gone. And we're talking about an organization that runs Broadway.com, the theater news website, the Broadway channel, BroadwayBox.com, which does discount ticketing, the touring organization Broadway Across America. They also have money invested in more than half a dozen, or more than a dozen Broadway shows, and across the board. They don't want to do this. They don't want to lay off people, but what are they paying for? What can they do? So a lot of people lost their jobs this week in just that organization, and it's going on across the board.
Usually actors are very well employed, so like Broadway always employs people.
Well, Broadway and employment off Broadway and off, and don't forget, it's not just actors, man. The people, there are designers who aren't working. There are crew. There's for every show that has 3 people on stage, there might be 40 or 50 people who are also gaining their livelihood in that organization. Yeah. And if you don't have shows to do, there's no livelihood. But we're in the Daverhood in our Inside Broadway segment. We do have a little bit of happy news, a little positive Broadway news. There was a show called Diana, a Broadway musical about Lady Di, Princess Di, that was going to be opening this past spring. And they're still going to try and open it in spring of 2021. But what they're doing is, now that we're in stage 4 in New York, they're going to film a performance of the show at the Longacre Theater, and they're going to film it for Netflix to broadcast on Netflix so that people can watch beforehand. Which, and I mean, it's amazing how the ideas and the culture of Broadway can kind of flips on its head, because back in the day, and that wasn't so long ago, the last thing you wanted to do was tape a show or have people watch a videotape or a movie of a show, because if they see it for free in the comfort of their home or in a movie theater, why would they pay money to go to a place and pay a babysitter and pay for parking and schlep in and then sit close together with other people and have to schlep to the bathroom and this and that? And why would they do that and pay $150 when they when all they have to do is just watch it all? But that's been, the script has been flipped. I don't think showing Hamilton on Disney Plus is going to cost Hamilton that much money. If anything, it's making a lot of people want to see it in person and have that experience, even though they've watched it 2 or 3 times on Disney. Right? The musical Chicago, which I think won the Oscar for Best Film Musical. Everybody thought, oh, well, now they're filming Chicago. Chicago will close. It hasn't. I mean, it's on hiatus now with all the other shows, but it didn't. And in some ways, it made tourists want to come see Chicago. Yeah. Hamilton. So maybe this is really, really flipping the script. Maybe this idea of it's sort of the old idea when they would put out cast albums and get those across the country, so people could hear the music and read maybe the synopsis of the show, but they would still want to come and see the show. Maybe something like this with Diana, and I think Six is also doing this, showing itself before people see it.
Ushers and usherettes, Jeff said, who are getting unemployed.
Them too. What are they ushering? Where are they going? What building are they? It's a tough time. By the way, we got about 5 minutes before our quiz, so I've got a lot more Broadway stuff to do. First, I want to remind you that if you want to know about everything happening on, off, and off Broadway, get yourself Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway since 1944. Find out about it. I usually do a whole spiel. You can find the information at performingartsinsider.com. Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway. Everybody in the entertainment industry should subscribe to it. Now, moving on with more Broadway news.
Quiz time.
Yeah, no, we're 4 minutes to quiz time. Then we have to say a quick goodbye to 3 different Broadway people. First of all, farewell to actor and director and choreographer Tony Charmoli. 99 years old. He passed away on last Saturday. He directed a lot of TV musical specials. He won an Emmy, actually, for the musical work he did on Your Hit Parade. If I don't remember that, but some of the folks watching probably do. He made his Broadway debut directing Dear Judas. Oh, no, he was acting in that one. A play called Dear Judas in 1947. Then there was Alan J. Lerner and Kurt Weill's musical Love Life. In 1955, he choreographed the musical Ankles Away, and then Jerome Robbins helped him a little bit with that one. He directed Eddie Fisher at the Winter Garden Theater, Shirley MacLaine on Broadway back in 1976, a show that was so popular she brought it back a few months later. And then in 1981, he choreographed the Kander and Ebb musical Woman of the Year, which starred Lauren Bacall. So a big farewell to Tony Charmoli, who passed away last Saturday. And a week and a half ago, Billy Goldenberg died, composed a lot of movie scores and like TV movie music for shows like Columbo and Rhoda and Kojak and The Night Stalker. He was the onstage piano player for Mike Nichols and Elaine May when they were on Broadway. And many years later, he did the same thing for solo shows by Diana Ross and Beatrice Arthur. He also did the dance arrangements for Let It Ride and the show that was part of our trivia quiz last week, 110 in the Shade. And he did have one musical that he helped write. He wrote the music for the 1978 musical Ballroom, which was based on the TV film Queen of the Stardust Ballroom, for which he wrote the incidental music. That show was directed and choreographed by the great Michael Bennett, starred Dorothy Loudon and Vincent Gardenia, and the lyrics were by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. He did the music. It was Tony nominated for Best Musical and Best Book. It's one of those shows that theater people keep wondering, when are they going to revive that one?
Oh, Robert,
That seems like
Robert came in, I think, for the quiz. He said hi.
Robert, first initial? Oh, Robert from my high school. Hello, Robert.
I think he's a good quiz player too. You know, he's a good challenge.
And one song came out of that show that every cabaret performer does. It's called 50%. Barbara Streisand has done it. Every diva does. You know, I'd rather have 50% of him than no percent of him. That came
really a depressive song.
from Ballroom. Well, it is, but it's a classic. And he wrote that, Billy Goldenberg. Yeah. I got one more farewell to do before we get into the quiz, because I gotta finish up this segment. And my gosh, just yesterday we found out that on August 14th, Howell Binkley, the lighting designer, died of lung cancer. So he was a two-time Tony winner for Jersey Boys and also for Hamilton. Can't avoid that show today. He was also the lighting designer for Kiss of the Spider Woman, Parade, The Full Monty, Avenue Q, In the Heights, After Midnight, Xanadu, Seussical, Memphis, Golda's Balcony. There's 20 more that I'm not mentioning. He was a major, major figure in the design of Broadway over the past 30 years. Howell Binkley, oh, farewell, farewell. And farewell to this sad segment of Inside Broadway here in the Daverhood. Inside Broadway, brought to you by Total Theater's Performing Arts Insider, your everything theater guide. Yes, Inside Broadway we have gone. It is 11 o'clock Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching The Day Has Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. 11 a.m. This is the big time. This is when we're going to try and make it happen. We have at least one person joining us in the Daverhood. All right, we've got two parts. There we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, to do our today, yesterday trivia. Wow!
David, gallery view,
Gallery. Oh, wow! This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. If you saw my cousins, Cynthia and Jeff, last week, they were in their home, not the new home that they bought, but their current home, taking part in the trivia quiz. Now, where we have them, are you seeing them yet?
Not yet.
Wait till you see this, my dear.
Oh, they're in Hawaii. Uh-oh, Jeff just popped out.
Well, Jim,
That's their virtual background.
I know. They're doing like the
we're on vacation. Right. We wish.
You two are just coke and nutty, my friends. I want to make sure. Can you just make sure, because you guys are going to be playing against my longtime theater friend Leslie Hoban Blake, who I hope I gave the proper information to.
So tell people Jeff. So everybody's worried that Jeff, Cynthia's husband, keeps disappearing. But tell them in a virtual background, sometimes it depends on the wall. So he's going to come in and out of the frame. It's normal.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm here.
Yeah. The most important thing is Cynthia. Jeff, not so much. So how have you guys been since last week?
Hot. Very hot.
Well, airing up, yeah. What's new? How's the home you guys are building? How's that going?
It's still there.
They're still working on the pool.
Oh, all right.
It's still not done, and I'm not moving till there's a pool.
But what do you need a pool for? You got a whole ocean behind you.
Yeah, that doesn't go with me to Arizona.
Oh, I guess not. So are they trucking in the water to Arizona in order to have a pool? Oh, wait.
No, we actually have a hose and water, you know.
Oh, I need to send Leslie the link. I thought I did. Just give me a mo.
How do you do it?
How do I tell her what the link?
I'll jump in the water while we wait.
Oh, I think I can do this by going on the Facebook.
I just send it to her as a message.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now, Leslie. If you're watching, I just need to pull this up a little bit, and that's what she said. Why won't this go? La, 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 la. No, I don't want that. Hold
You
on.
inviting Jeff also?
No, not. Here we go. La la la. I'm sorry, Leslie. I apologize. That was my particular mistake. Yeah, just everybody take some fun time sunning yourselves at the beach. Where is it? Everything shouldn't be so complicated, and yet it is. Forgive me.
When we had the faculty meeting, they didn't know it carried over.
Oh crap! It's not showing. But here.
Where's your link? Want me to do it?
I just sent her, but it's going to look blankish, or there's somewhere copying a weird. But hopefully, Leslie will see it. I'm so sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk about days gone by, and so I know you guys are having the pool put in. And
they're doing a built-in barbecue and a fire pit, and then they have to do all the hardscape and then landscape. There's just a lot to go.
Can I ask, what is the point of a fire pit as opposed to just using a barbecue grill or?
Well, the fire pit's to sit around in the cool evenings.
So it's basically a sunken place wherein you put the barbecue grill? Is that?
It has nothing to do with the grill. The grill is by the house. And this is back in the back of the property.
A campfire.
Yeah, like a little campfire.
For roasting marshmallows.
Oh, are you actually going to do? Oh, so see.
Yes. We are going to roast marshmallows.
I just sent Leslie the thing.
Yeah.
But the problem is it looks blank in the email that I sent to her. Give me a moment, folks, and I apologize for this. What else? Let me ask the Shubs a question. What are you two experts in besides education and the law? Like if you had your ideal trivia quiz. Hobbies, what would they be?
Airplanes, photography, trains.
Airplanes, photography,
baseball for sure.
Oh, are you really? So are you fans of which team?
I'm a Mets fan.
Big Mets fan.
Since when? Since forever? Tell me. I mean, like
1962.
So I do remember. I mean, I don't want to age you guys, but do you remember when they started in the Polo Grounds? Like
yeah, I went to the Polo Grounds.
Wow.
My father took me to a game. My first game was in April of 1962.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And was Casey Stengel there at that point, or who was?
Oh yeah, Casey Stengel was there.
Who's
And,
on the team?
They played against the Phillies at the first game, April of '62. It was on a Saturday. And my father wanted to take me to a Yankees game. He had been a big Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Right.
And when they left, he lost interest in baseball. So he didn't follow at all. But I started to watch the Yankee games myself on TV, and I liked it. I was picking it up. So I wanted to go to a Yankee game. And that was the season after Maris hit 61 home runs. And he was going to take me to Yankee Stadium. But he looked in the newspaper, they're not in town. They were out of town that day. He says, well, there's a team called the Mets, the new team that started up. You want to go see them? So I went. And
that's how it all started.
I became an instant Mets fan. I mean, the first time that you walk into a stadium and you see the grass and the uniforms and the colors and all the people and the noise, and it's a great feeling, and you never lose it. It's still that way when I go to a ball game.
Well, I lost it. I will say that I lost it for the Mets when they were so terrible. No, it wasn't even that. I liked them when they were terrible. I grew up in the 1970s, and it was fine. Felix Mion and Cleon Jones and Dave. I hated Dave Kingman, but that whole crew. That
right.
Was, they were a 400 team for years, and that was okay by me.
Yeah.
Because even a 400 team is going to win 4 out of their 10 games. Fine.
Right.
Well, there was that time, I guess it was about 15, 20 years ago now, when they, and I've talked about this on the show a lot of times, but when they were cruising to the pennant, there were about 10 games in first place, and it was somewhere in like May or June already. And all they had to do was just kind of keep doing well and on cruise control. And they just went.
2007, with like the 17 games to go, they had a 10-game lead. And
yeah.
And I went down to the last game of the season, which I was at. And was it 2007 or 2008? I remember I was at the last game of the season, maybe in 2008, not 2007. And so I'm glad when was pitching. And the first inning, he gave up a bunch of runs to the Florida Marlins, and it was just heartbreaking. And they really blew the season. It was the biggest, the biggest, collapse I've ever seen. Before that, the biggest collapse was in 1964 when the Phillies collapsed. They had been leading all season long, and they blew it. And the Cardinals won the pennant that year.
Yeah, but what bothered me was I almost gave them up. I mean, that was heartbreaking that year. But then the year after that, they did it again.
All right, 2008, same thing. Same thing.
They were
a good team those 2 years. They were a really good team. They should not have blown it.
Right. I mean, that was also the thing. It wasn't that they were mediocre. They just, they just screwed up, and they just didn't care. And that's what broke my heart. That's what made me lose my faith in the team. I really went off them. I even became a Yankee fan for like a year or two, because it was that second year when suddenly again, they're not going to make that mistake again. They're not going to lie down on the job and not care and be, laissez-faire and lackadaisical again. They couldn't possibly, and they did.
They did 2 years in a row. Yeah, same thing. So
how did you maintain your faith?
You gotta believe.
What?
I don't know. Nothing else to do, I guess.
I mean, seriously. So, and what about you, Cynthia? Are you also a, shall we say, a big Metsy kind of a fan? Do you have the same continuum along that vein?
I was a very big Mets fan. What was that, in the 80s?
Yeah.
I remember staying.
So you were a dilettante. You came to them because they were
No. I was always a Met fan. But I'm just saying, I remember staying at work until that game ended.
The playoff game in '86 against the Astros.
That went like crazy late.
17 innings or something. It was like a 6-hour game.
But you couldn't leave. You had to watch.
Right. Yeah, I'm also trying to text. So keep talking.
Keep talking amongst yourselves.
You can't, because I need. Can you come and type this address?
Just where's the address?
It's right here. It's rather hard to see.
Can you cut and paste it into a text?
I already did, but it looks blank.
Are we going to get to see the elusive wife?
Never.
Oh, no, never, ever, ever. Show your hand. Put your hand on camera.
Just cut,
There's her.
cut and paste that.
I did. Into
Just
an
a face for a second.
That white thing.
Yeah, white fang.
Dale,
And then, send it to
See, that's
your-
what it looks like. It looks blank.
color it.
Yeah.
Do a color here, text right here, color it.
This is color.
I think so, yeah.
Sorry, folks. Let's try that.
Yeah,
Do you remember Soupy Sales?
I never watched him, but of course I certainly remember Soupy Sales.
White Fang?
Yeah, was it White Fang or just Fang? No, Fang was
white. It was white fang and the black
right.
tooth.
White Fang and Black Tooth, maybe.
Yeah. These off-screen characters. It's just
That was Joan Rivers' husband was Fang.
Oh,
The
yeah.
White Fang was.
No,
You would just see a paw coming in from the side. That's Joyce.
Oh, right. Oh, I see. Or sometimes potato. Sometimes we see potato. I can't believe I'm killing this much time. I'm also trying to text her on her phone, but the only way I can do that is to.
Has she downloaded Zoom? Does she have it?
We actually tested this out earlier
Just
in the
text her-
week.
Text her on the phone and say, check her email.
Yeah. Yeah, I already did that. So, but she's probably figuring I forgot about her and isn't checking anything. This is my life, ladies and gentlemen. So it goes.
So
Yeah.
when I'm not doing this, I'm
Mhm.
usually working on the family tree,
Oh yeah.
which is like well over 10,000. I don't even know people that are so far removed that but I just keep connecting all the links because Jeff and I are somehow DNA related. And it's probably so far back, I'll find Adam and Eve before I find the connection.
So,
But-
we were talking about the whole cousins things and the whole. So you might be distant, eighth cousins twice removed. Kind
But
of
most Ashkenazi Jews are related
right.
through
That's,
DNA. So it's hard to know if it's that or is there a connection? I don't know. But I keep looking anyway, even though it's hopeless. I'll never find it, but I keep looking.
Well, we can only keep looking for so much more time for Leslie Blake. What I can do is start the quiz because I hate keeping our viewers waiting. And even though you guys are great talking about baseball and family trees and genealogy and all that sort of thing.
Yes, let's get to the quiz.
Let's get to the quiz. Mazel tov. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, longtime theater critic.
Leslie is coming.
Leslie, I see your forehead.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys. I just clicked an invisible link, so you know that makes me feel like I've fallen through the into Wonderland or through the rabbit hole.
Well, you know that Dave's come by as part of the dark web, right? You realize that.
Well, now that's it. I can never get out of here, right? I'm trapped forever in this particular. Well, I like this particular picture, so it's okay. Good morning. How are you guys? I see you're on the beach.
Yeah, we wish.
I have to learn how to do that. This is my bedroom. I have to learn how to do that.
So
Okay, we're in the kitchen, but
Oh, sorry. What?
so we're in the kitchen, but we like the beach scene.
There you go. Okay.
Now,
Well,
Leslie,
you-
I see behind you. I see a cute little dangly sheep thing.
No, that's a dog.
Oh, a sheep.
I'm sorry. It's a teddy bear. Forgive me.
And
This
it has
thing
like
is-
a mouse.
to it, or what is that? Behind you is a bottle of fabric softener, or what is that red
No,
thing?
that's a red female torso on which I put stick pins, which sounds very voodoo, but isn't it? Just a
It really
convenient.
did.
It's just a helpful thing to have.
Yeah. And that's
And
a
it-
hat rack behind me. That was my mother's, which is over 200 years old.
Well, how did she get it?
Well, it was, an
Not
antique,
two.
it was an antique when she got it, and I brought it with me to 3 different apartments, and I painted it.
Oh, so you paint literally like
Yeah,
this
the
don't
wood
look
was
like
the
black?
wood was not worth taking down. It would have been an enormous job and very expensive. But I like it. Everything is white, so and that's an old fireplace mantle that I made into a headboard. So there we go. That's the
Oh.
tour of my bedroom.
And then is it a
Those are
belt?
flowers up there. There, can you see those there?
Yeah.
Fake, of course.
And is that what is it? A championship like WFC belt, or what's that?
I have
Behind
no idea what you're looking at, darling.
It's piece of wood.
black on the wall.
Oh, this thing up top? That's
Yeah.
a decoration in the faux gold at the top of that at the Victorian piece.
Well, I'm all faux gold,
Yeah, well, it looks better if there's more light, but that's as much light as I'm gonna get. Actually, it's overcast today slightly, so I use a lot of outside light to come in, and that's
Well, I love how you've arranged the look of your Zoom. I mean, it's really both of you. It's
well, I would rather have a beach Zoom. You'll tell me how at the end of this.
But the cool thing is, Jeff, this is going to freak you out, Leslie. Jeff, can you move around a little?
I can do it.
Yes, I know. It's green screen technology. I know you lose your arm when you move.
Yeah. Oh, there she goes.
Goodbye.
Come
back. Come
She's
back.
on the dark web. Ah! Terrifying.
Oh, get her. She's drowning. Help. She's in the...
Her arm rose out of the sand. It's frightening.
I can't tell it in sand. It looks like water to me. So it has waves. I think she was in the water. That's why I said she's drowning.
So Leslie, before we get to our quiz, because the reason we have you, you've been on the show many, many times, usually talking about theater. Let me ask you a quick question, because just a pre-interview.
I'm not going to know the answer to this with this preamble. Go ahead.
Well, how have you been coping during this insane non-theater time?
Oh, well, you may or may not know that Charlie and I, our co-hosts on Two on the Aisle, have started a new podcast. We're still in the development stages, so we're still trying. Oh, yeah, you look surprised, so you didn't know that. Okay, we're doing a podcast called Critic Circle, and the idea is that actors got to act, dancers got to dance. They're all over doing Zooms and whatnot. So we're reviewing, but the way we're doing it is we're reviewing past stuff out of the vault that we found, present, some of these Zoom things that are all over the place, and then future. We're talking to ADs around and actors and directors around the city, and also around the regional theaters, to see how they're coping and what they're doing. Our first interview was with Jim Nicola at New York Theater Workshop.
Wait, didn't he retire?
Say that again?
Didn't he retire last year, or?
No. That's the guy at Playwrights Horizons is retired.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. Tim Sanford, whom I've known for 1,000 years. And it was our way of coping, and it took me months to come around to the idea that it would be important to do this, because I was so depressed that I couldn't pull myself out of the depression. But I had a birthday and I survived, and I went, you know what? I didn't kick off. I'm old and I'm fat. I figured I was a prime candidate. Well, all right, it's all subjective, but the point is that I'm still here, and I won't sing, I promise.
He's still here. Yeah.
But we figured, okay, we'll do the show. So we're just working on the finishing touches on our pilot podcast, and then we'll just do it every other week, like Two on the Island. Maybe we'll be able to post it in the same way.
Now, are you and Charlie Zooming separately, or at least at this point you can get together in a place? And
we're Zooming. Yes, Charlie's doing the technological part of it. You can see I'm not that adept. I mean, this took me 3 weeks to get to you. Charlie is taping it, and then we'll do it at least once or twice to get a good version. He'll take the best snippets of the tape, put it together, and make us the thing, plus the interview, and then it's done. He's at his house. I'm at my house. We're not, and I think he thinks we can maybe get it into the studio as well.
Oh,
I mean, we can't get into the studio, but we may be able to send it to the studio, because we've been rebroadcasting programs.
I know,
program
right?
Over and over and over again.
And Les, how many years have you been on Two on the Aisle, the previous Critics show?
We were thinking that maybe close to a dozen. It's at least 10 or 11. I can find stuff that old, so it's at least 10 or 11 years.
Wow,
which is a long time.
But I wish
in TV shows on YouTube, it's a long time.
It's like dog years. It's TV
absolutely dog years. Absolutely, or Hollywood marriage time. It's a very very subjective. Go ahead. So.
Oh wait, Joyce is saying. Hold on.
That's okay. Hi. So how are you guys holding up? At least you have each other, which is nice.
We stay locked in our house and don't go anywhere or do anything.
Where's your house located? Generally.
Long Island.
Okay, I'm in the heart of Manhattan. I'm on 12th Avenue and 42nd Street.
Wow. Okay, my sister's
I'm in
the
a high
city.
rise on the river, which is the best thing I can have, is I have a view of the river, which is very calming.
But you don't go out much, right?
I go out to shop, and I've got a brand new thing I'm starting. You're all invited, but only 2 or less at a time. That means you and Joyce and you guys could come, but only one group at a time. And that is, I used to do wine and cheese parties at my apartment all the time. Well, I loved it. It was a way of entertaining a lot of people, 5 or 6 even. But a friend of mine just dropped off 6 pounds of cheese as a present, and I can't use 6 pounds of cheese. So I called a couple of friends, and we're going downstairs where there's a little park, and there are tables and chairs, and I'm putting on gloves and bringing down wine and cheese. And one friend is coming over today, and I'm, the invitation is an open. If you ever leave your house in Long Island and want to drive all the way to Manhattan for a couple of pounds of cheese, you're more than welcome to come.
That's very sweet. But
is open to everyone watching the show. Is that
no? It's my invitation.
Very funny, Dave.
What were you going to say?
I don't drink wine, but I know how to wine.
Oh, okay. Well, I got you. Yeah, you and a certain orange pumpkin head that I know. Very, very interesting complaint.
Well, anyway,
during the pandemic, anybody who doesn't wine is the outcast.
It's just since Manischewitz that I got turned off to wine.
It's Manischewitz that I got drunk on the first time at Passover.
Well, yes, we all got drunk.
It's the Passover rite of passage. That's
yes. But I didn't like the taste.
Let you guys talk.
I'm sorry. Well, you walked away for a second.
Yeah, you abandoned us, Dave.
So, hold on. All right.
Okay.
We have a quiz to go.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
You get to answer. You get to ask, but you never have to answer questions, right, David? What a clever fellow you are. Go ahead. All right.
I invited you, Leslie. If you ever want to take, you want to spend.
Turn the tables one day on them.
In all honesty, I was going to try to do a very tough theater quiz. And then I found this Theater Mania is doing a quiz that I can't answer all the questions. And I thought, no, they've got it done. There's no point in my doing it. I can't do it better. I can't do it as well or better. I don't do it. So, that's the way that goes.
There's also a very fun quiz that is put out by the folks at soundsofbroadway.com, friends of the Daverhood. And it's a 24-hour internet show tune channel called soundsofbroadway.com.
Oh.
And if you join, every week he sends you a 10 or 12 question trivia quiz on various aspects of Broadway. And some of the questions are surprisingly tough, and some are kind of simple, which is a nice mix.
And I would still get 0.
Well, if it's not your thing, then, if they put sports up,
I've been trying to.
Sports and archipelagos, I'm dead. I mean, that's it.
Archipelagos, yeah.
I've been trying to wake my sister up in California to get her to join on the phone and give me answers, but she's still sleeping.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning out there. What do you want?
Isn't it 7 now?
It's 8:30 now. She should be up.
All right, take off the math questions too. Then in that case, all right. So we'll just go without that. I keep thinking you're taller than I am, and I got to put this down there. Now I'm the same height as you. That looks better.
There we go. And that's a nice visual, Les, and a great visual from you guys too. So, without further ado or a don't, it is time to actually do this week's quiz.
All right.
How do you want us to answer?
Now here's how it's going to work.
Okay.
And this is brand new. This could be a complete cluster, but we're going to try it. All right. So it's a real competition, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, folks watching at home, playing at home, you can also type in your answers, but it's really going to be this competition between our friend Leslie Hoban Blake and my cousins / friends Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. So what's going to happen is there is a point system. And each question is going to be worth 2 points. And then there's some other fairly simple rules, I hope. But it's going to begin so that this is fair with a roll of a random dice on a website I have here called random.org. So since you are my cousins, Cynthia and Jeff, I will ask you to pick a number between 2 and 12.
7.
Point this year. 7. All right. 7. Good. Now, Leslie, you cannot pick 7, but pick any other number.
6.
6. All right. Whoever is closer or right on the money to the roll of 2 dice in random.org. I hope this works. So I'm going to roll the dice.
You can't. Okay.
And the answer. The dice, and you have to trust me, I'm not going to share my screen, but the 2 die digital roll here came up 9. So 6
So you guys
9. So who said 7?
They did.
7. So you guys can choose to go first or second, and then we'll be alternating questions. So that's the most way I can keep this random.
So it's just, we don't ring in, it's just we question and then question and then,
Right,
okay,
right.
got it.
Going back and
I can
forth.
handle that.
So you guys want to start? Jeff and Cynthia, you
Go
so-
ahead, intimidate me. Use your psychological tricks on me, Cynthia. Go ahead.
So here's
That was it. Yes.
I got it.
2 teams, 10 questions each, and there's a tiebreaker if we need it. Each question is worth 2 points for a right answer. Wrong answer, you get no points. Now the other team, though, so if you get the question wrong, the other team can answer the question
And
for
pick up
2
the 2 points. Right, gotcha.
However, there's a little bit of strategy involved. If you think you don't know the answer, you don't want to answer the question, you can pass, right? And you will automatically lose 1 point. But then the other team can't answer the question.
Got it.
And they can't get 2 points
Okay.
from you.
Got it.
All right?
What if
That's
we
all.
disagree?
Well, you have to have one answer.
Yeah,
between you,
you-
because two
It's like a
teams-
college bowl. You whisper to each other and then you throw out the right answer, or what you hope is the right answer.
You got it, Leslie. So are you all ready to play the trivia game quiz? And I hope I can score this thing properly. Here's my very special scoring pen, which, by the way, is stolen from the Silverman Aging and Hartford Center of Excellence for Diversity and Aging. Look at
That's
that.
on my conference.
Here it is. Let's hope it works. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin our Today Yesterday quiz. The first question is for you, Cynthia and Jeff. Oh, I remember this year well. 1457 is the year. August 15th is the day. Big day in the world of publishing. The Mainz Psalter, or probably Mainz Psalter, or Book of Psalms, rolled off the presses in Germany. What was innovative about this particular book? It's a multiple choice. Okay, the choices are: it was the first book to use 3 colors of type, the first book to include a printed date of publication. 3, it's rarer than the Gutenberg Bible with only 10 surviving complete copies, or it's the first book with musical notations. All right, so we're talking about the Mainz Psalter, Book of Psalms, came out today, back in 1457.
Can you read the answers just one more time quickly, please? Sorry,
Oh, no, I always do. I usually do the question twice.
Okay.
So the multiple choices are: was it the first book to use 3 colors of type? The first book to include a printed date of publication? Is it rarer than the Gutenberg Bible because there's only 10 surviving copies? Or is it the first book with musical notations? Now, Cynthia and Jeff, you can either choose to answer the question or you can pass.
Now,
And,
you always answer,
Always
right or wrong.
all right.
But I am going to give my husband's answer, since we have to agree on one. He says the first book with a date.
The first book with a date in the book. Okay, hold on.
Date.
B. I got audience saying.
Audience is saying B. The first book to include a printed date of publication. Cynthia and Jeff, you say B. So you're sticking by that answer?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, it is B. Congratulations. So Cynthia and Jeff, you get 2 points. But guess what? And that's why there was a little strategy involved. All the answers were correct on this one. It's kind of like a wait, don't tell me question. So whatever answer you would have given would have been
so
correct.
does that make me Paula Poundstone in that case?
Oh, you listen to wait.
I'm a
Yeah.
listener. I love the show.
So there you
That
go.
seems like it
Like I cheated.
unfair.
Like I cheated.
Well, but you could have chosen.
Any answer would
You
have been
didn't
right.
give us all
Yeah.
of the above.
Well, but the point is, any answer you would have gotten
Right.
would have been right. Anyone you would have chosen would have given you 2 points,
I
or
know.
would have given Leslie 2 points if you had or given her.
If you passed, right. I got you.
You see,
This is
That
what
would have been bad strategy.
We never
this is
could.
my version of hanging chads. All right, here we go. I don't think that's going to happen again on this quiz, though. That was just like a one-timer this week. Leslie, the next question goes to you.
Okay.
1534 is the year.
Uh-huh.
This Spanish man and 6 fellow students took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, thus becoming the first Jesuits. Name the man who was canonized in 1622 and has universities named after him in Chicago, Maryland, and New Orleans.
It's Loyola. I don't need your 4 choices.
Okay, Leslie says final answer. I should say final answer. Final answer, Loyola. Do we
All
have
right, you know what? Read me my choices just in case.
No,
I'm
we're-
sorry.
this was not-
No,
this
I'm being a
was-
smart ass. I should listen to the question. I should listen.
Actually, there
to
were
the
no
answer.
multiple choices. So you pulled
Oh, okay. It's just one. It's Loyola.
You're saying
Loyola.
Loyola. Do we have any people? You said it so quick. I don't know if anybody on our
Somebody said it's
Shuby Taylor.
no,
No,
it's Noriega.
no, it's
Lin-Manuel Noriega.
someone wrote in. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, it is not Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He's everything else, though.
So here's Jeff. You guys have 2 so far, and
Is Jeff playing?
Well, I meant Jeff and Cynthia.
Oh, sorry.
The cousins are
Oh,
Jeff.
Jeff. I thought he meant the other Jeff. Okay.
Leslie, you just got 2 points because the answer is Ignatius of Loyola. Not bad for a nice Jewish girl to know that answer, Leslie.
Well, you know, I'm only half Jewish. I'm
Oh.
also half Catholic.
So was the Russell Hoban part Jewish?
Hoban was my mother's maiden name. Yes, Irish.
Oh, Irish. So he was Irish, and then the other side was Jewish.
An Irish Polish Catholic and a Russian Jew.
Walk into a bar and
That's like a war. I mean, I got it covered. You know, I got guilt, I got sin, I got the whole thing going on.
And by the way, the Jesuits were formed in 1534 on this date, but the Pope officially recognized them in 1540. So it took they had to sort of prove themselves to the Pope.
That's because Trump was in charge of the Postal Service.
Oh, if only.
There won't be a postal service next year, so
Oh,
anyway.
please don't even say that.
No
Oh,
politics,
God.
no politics.
No more politics.
All
No,
right.
I don't mind the politics. I just don't want to lose the post office. That's all.
I know.
I just think that's such a.
If it was for eBay, well, how do we buy stuff?
I
We'll be
know.
back in January.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the quiz, and we have Cynthia and Jeff. You are next for the question that you can either answer or you say you generally all pass. Here we go. 1795 is the year. After many successful years in England, where he wrote his 102nd, 103rd, and 104th symphonies, this composer returned to his native Austria, where, as something of a celebrity, he continued to write oratorios and other music. Can you name him? Let me say the question again, just so people have a little chance at home with our tape delay. 1795 is the year. After many successful years in England, he wrote his 102nd through 104th symphonies there. Now he returned to his native Austria, where, as kind of a celebrity, he continued to write oratorios and other music. So you're not going to pass. Cynthia and Jeff, do you want to take a stab at the answer?
With no multiple choice?
No multiple choice. Sorry, not on this one.
I have to let you answer. I definitely.
Is someone else writing in
Mozart.
No.
Was Wagner.
Is that
Wagner.
Wagner? The answer.
Wait,
Yeah,
I have to get a choice, right? I get a chance if they get it
You
wrong.
get a chance. You don't get a choice. You don't get a multiple choice, but you get to answer. Unfortunately, the answer that Lynn and Jeff gave was wrong.
I know.
Okay, so Leslie, give us the right answer.
Mine might be wrong also. I mean, it's the wrong year. I say Handel.
Oh, George Friedrich Handel is your
Yeah.
answer.
I may be a little bit late. I think he may have been earlier, but I think it's then.
Okay, I'll read the question one more time if anybody wants to chime in on the answers, because I'm afraid both answers were wrong. Neither
Okay,
of you
then I'm tapped. I don't know.
lose any points. 1795 composer was in England for a while, where he wrote 3 of his last symphonies, and then still composed some more music when he went back to his native. I keep saying Austria so as not to say Vienna, but it's Vienna that he went back to. Something of a celebrity, he wrote more music. His last few years were plagued by illness, though he was well looked after.
Oh, Mozart in that case?
No, and after
I'm sorry. I'm just throwing things out at the wall. I forget it.
No, these are all.
Somebody said Lin-Manuel Noriega.
Someone said Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, it's not Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's
Would that
not.
someone be Joyce by any chance?
She hates Lin-Manuel Miranda. She just hates him. After
How can you hate? That's like kicking a dog. How can you hate Lin-Manuel Miranda? It's
Was it
not
Beethoven?
allowed to do that.
they're in the middle of the backlash now. They're in the middle of the anti-Lin-Manuel Miranda because Hamilton is apparently so un-Me Too or something. I don't know.
Liszt.
Nah.
Not
Nah.
Liszt.
Beethoven.
No. No.
But so who was it? I give up. Who was
Well,
it?
here's this is one last clue. Nobody gets points for this, but this is true. After his death, his skull was stolen by phrenologists and only returned to his skeleton in 1954. I don't know if I didn't know about this.
Still don't know.
Yeah. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Lunch?
You can't see me.
Hayden.
Hayden. Oh, okay. Okay. I wouldn't have gotten that.
Was the answer to that question? There you go.
Yes, they were hiding skull.
Oh, that's terrible.
What I have to say is what I think is interesting is you're doing my favorite professor throughout all of my college days, not just because he let me into graduate school, but because he was just a magnificent human being. He taught the history classes. Noss was his name at NYU, and he always put a date on the board. And then he talked about everything that happened on that date, no matter what country, no matter where it was. It was not by the textbook. And I almost failed the course because you had to read the textbook as well as know what happened in class. But it's such a wonderful way to organize the questions by the date. I love it. I'm wrong, but I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing the show. Today's August 15th. Everything that is happening.
Yeah, that's great.
Is August 15th. Thank you, Leslie. Oh, wow.
Well, I like it anyway. Go ahead.
Let's see if you like this question. You may end up hating it by the time we get through all these
Of course.
questions. 1911 is the year, Leslie.
Yes.
It's all vegetable. It's all digestible. That was the catchphrase for this Procter & Gamble product introduced as a healthy alternative to lard. Can you name it? No multiple choice.
No, give me 1 second. I have to think of a couple of.
Can you ask it again? We were frozen.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask.
Okay,
I
yeah,
ask the
okay.
question twice.
Go ahead.
The year was 1911. It's all vegetable. It's all digestible. That was the catchphrase for this Procter & Gamble product introduced as a healthy alternative to lard.
Not that I was there and know this firsthand, although you might think of it by looking at me. But I think it's Crisco.
Okay, Leslie is saying Crisco oil. Are you going to stand with that answer? I'll give you like.
I don't have another one, so yeah, I'm going to stand with that one. That's the one that comes to
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
It's not like I have 6 of them in my little.
Okay, do we have any answers over there, Joyce?
I believe there's
Lin-Manuel Miranda?
no, we have Crisco.
Which sounds like a vegetable oil, doesn't it? It really does. No matter what the answer is, it sounds right. Lynn Nelson.
I would have said Vita Vita Vegemin, but I guess that's not
Easy for you to say.
Who said Crisco, by the way, on the...
Bill Bradford said Crisco.
Oh, Bill Bradford also said
And
Crisco.
Jeff
You know
Goodman
him.
said it's
I don't know him.
Will
How
Miranda.
do I know him?
It's not margarine. It is, in fact, well done, Leslie Blake. And that's why we put the show on oily in the morning. Because it is Crisco, which is made from processed cottonseed oil. P&G didn't know about trans fats back then, although they did try and cover up studies that showed hydrogenated oils contributed to heart disease, infertility, and other medical problems.
My
So-
mother, who had 4 children, used it religiously and did not. No, she did have. Yeah, I guess she had heart problems. She had every other kind of problem, so I guess there was heart problems too.
But well
She
done.
raised us on monosodium glutamate. We had a gigantic tub of monosodium glutamate. I mean, we all thought that was
I
wonderful.
grew up on MSG. I didn't grow up on Crisco because, I could have actually, because it was a kosher, should have been a kosher alternative.
Yeah, it's a non-lard. It's a vegetable product, so it could have been.
Yeah, I don't know why mom, we used Pam, I think, or something. I don't know. And Pam hated it because.
I thought you said ham. You said Pam, but I thought you said ham. I was going to say, since when is that kosher? But let that go.
Everyone would, she'd not like it.
right. That's what he just said. Pam was not happy.
All right, here we go. We're moving through our quiz now. So far, by the way, the score is Cynthia and Jeff 2, Leslie Hoban Blake 4.
Whoa, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize. 'Cause
They
I
got some
missed
stuff
one,
to
so I
say.
thought I was done. Okay.
No, you didn't.
Take
no.
that, ladies and gentlemen.
You got the 2 questions that were your questions to get.
Mhm.
All right, 1914 is the year for you, Cynthia and Jeff. Julian Carleton was apparently not happy working for this famous architect. While the architect was busy in Chicago, Carleton burned down Taliesin, his boss's home in Wisconsin. While the house was burning, Carleton also murdered 7 people with an axe, including the architect's mistress, who was lucky he stayed in Chicago that day. I'll read it again so everybody has a chance to hear it. 1914 was the year. Julian Carlton was apparently not a happy employee.
Where is she going when she disappears? Wait a minute.
She's checking Google.
No disappearing during the asking of
Talking to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just leaning backward.
Yeah, she's still on screen.
That was a joke. That was my idea of a joke. Sorry, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Wanted to get back at his employer, the famous architect, who was busy in Chicago. So Carlton burned down Taliesin, his boss's home in Wisconsin. While the house was burning, Carlton also murdered 7 people with an axe, including the architect's mistress, who was real lucky he stayed in Chicago that day. So Cynthia and Jeff, do you want to take that one, or do you want to pass, or what do you want to do?
Just take them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take a wild guess.
Go for it.
Two architects.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay, we have an
It's
answer.
not wild, it's right.
Frank Lloyd, and Leslie's nodding, even though.
Oh, it's absolutely that. His place was Taliesin. That's where.
I thought he was later. That's why.
No, he built Taliesin. It was the pride of his life. It was his own private home, and it was just a hideous, horrible. I read this. I read biographies on occasion. That was one of the ones I read.
So by the way, another your sister Shub, she got it right on the interwebs typing in, and so did Jeff Goodman. So yeah. Frank Lloyd Wright.
Shub, I don't know.
Stacy,
Stacy's my younger sister.
Younger sister.
She's like your age.
So who's the jazz singer? Who is the one?
That's Lauren, the one in California.
And she is also a sister.
Yes, she's my older sister. Well, yes.
Okay. We want to get her on the show. Leslie, did you ever see a music? I don't know if it was a play or a musical.
It was a musical.
The Utter Glory of Morrissey Hall. Does that ring a bell?
No. It starred Celeste Holm, and it was the late 70s, and it opened and closed the same day.
Oh well.
Yeah, I wasn't a critic in those days, so I didn't get free tickets, so I didn't go to things.
My sister was in that.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Lauren Shub.
Okay.
And now she's mostly a jazz singer.
Okay.
And one hopes she will be in cabarets and clubs being able to jazz sing again.
I was a cabaret critic for years, but only in the 90s, so it was way past.
No, she's still singing.
Good for her. I'm barely talking this morning.
Oh,
excuse me.
You get the same frog.
David, you have to listen to the album.
I've got to get. I guess it would be on Spotify. I've never heard it.
It's on her website.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And she's doing a new one soon.
CHUB?
SHUB.
SHUB. Okay.
Okay. So we have a tie game so far, and we're moving on to our next question in our Today-Yesterday quiz. And this one, I think, is for you, Leslie, correct? Yep. You're next. Okay. The year 1939. At Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, a little movie musical called The Wizard of Oz premiered. Which of these trivial facts is true about the movie The Wizard of Oz? It's a multiple choice. When she got the job as Dorothy, Judy Garland was ordered to lose 5 pounds. The mane for the Cowardly Lion's costume was made of camel hair. The salary for Toto the dog was a whopping $250 a week. Or Buddy Ebsen was supposed to play the Tin Man, but he dropped out because he was allergic to the makeup. Which of the following is true? I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read the question
No,
again.
it's okay. I'm tempted to say all of them. I know the thing about Buddy Ebsen is true. That's how Jack Haley got the job. 1939 was the year. More things happened in cinema in that year than ever again in a single year. And Wizard of Oz was a minor one of them. Gone with the Wind being a major one of them. And I want to say all of them. Judy Garland was probably ordered to lose more than 5 pounds. All her life, she was ordered to lose weight. I don't know about Toto. I honestly don't know about Toto. What was the second question, the second answer?
Oh, well, the other.
I got all the
Maine,
others.
the lion's mane.
The lion's mane. I'm going to go with Buddy Ebsen and the allergy to that silver paint.
So you're going with Buddy Ebsen?
It's probably all of them, but I'm going to go for.
Well,
no, I know that's why I'm picking.
Well, actually, this was not on all of them.
Okay.
This was, in fact, here's. And you were very wise about the Judy Garland thing. Judy Garland was ordered to lose 12 pounds
Okay.
and wear a corset. So that was not the answer.
And tie her boobs down because she was like 20 when she did the
Yes.
role.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she had to pretend she didn't have them.
Look at these. Look, I had to tie mine down. You can't see from the pockets, but and
Mine just go down by themselves now. I don't have to do anything to them.
good to know, Les. Good to know.
Well, in
I'm
case
not getting
anybody,
in this
in
one.
case anybody cares about that particular, you know.
Well, when I first met Leslie, she was quite glamorous. She was, I mean, not that you're not.
As opposed to what you see now.
You're
When you
not
see that one,
Really,
David.
you're putting your foot
Yeah.
way in there now,
Way
Dave.
to compliment a girl, Dave. Go ahead, keep going.
When I met David, he had hair.
Can I take back that we're related?
Anyway, back to the quiz. This is yeah. Anyway, the mane for the Cowardly Lion's costume was made of actual lion skin and fur.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. I'm glad I didn't know that.
It was realistic.
And Burt Lard he was just miserable in that costume. And Toto did not earn $250 a week. He earned $125 a week.
Wow.
Which was still an astonishing sum for 1939.
I wonder how he spent it.
Buggy Epson, you're right. And there was even more backstory to that. Buggy Epson was supposed to play the Scarecrow, and Ray Bolger wanted that part, so they swapped. And Bolger and Jack Handy got the Tin Man role because Epson just broke out.
And Epson and Bolger were actually dance friends from. They both did eccentric dancing. That if you watch old movies on TCM, you'll see Buddy Epson doing weird configurations with his body, and Ray Bolger did the same thing before he went into real tap. He did all of these. There was a particular. My grandfather was in vaudeville, so there was my Irish grandfather. He was a clog dancer, which became tap dancing, and so they would do particular. They weren't real dancing. It was being able to contort your body. A woman named Charlotte Ray did the same kind of stuff, where she could move her arm in like 27 different positions without.
Not Charlotte Ray.
No, not that Charlotte Ray, different Charlotte Ray.
Oh,
Yeah.
An earlier Charlotte Ray.
Disappeared again. So here I am.
You're like the trivia expert. You should be doing this quiz, Leslie.
I'm a
Yeah,
trivia
where are
expert
you
on
now?
certain things, and other things I know nothing about. So go.
Well,
You know.
certainly, and you are still tremendously glamorous, by the way, Leslie.
A little too late. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
By the way,
Especially since I forgot to put my tooth in this morning. So you know.
How many people have a grand piano at their birthday party?
yeah, that's right. I should mention I was at Leslie and Joyce and I were at Leslie's birthday party. There was none this year, of course, but the previous year at I don't want to say Don't Tell Mama.
It was at the West Bank.
the West Bank Cafe, right in Manhattan, right on 42nd between like 9th and 10th or 8th and 9th, and it was just
9th and 10th, between
and
9th and
lovely,
10th.
and so many people came out to pay. It was a fairly big birthday for you, which was great.
You won't say which one.
No,
There's
I'm not-
several
I am
big
not-
birthdays a girl can have. It was one of them.
There was 39. We can say
Again, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Jamie DeRoy does that. She had a 25th or 26th, 39th birthday party once. I remember that. No, but you know, it's funny. If I may digress again, guys, I'm sorry.
Yes, you may.
It was really interesting because we had 65 people there. And I don't think you'll ever have a party of that size again anywhere the way it looks. So
Well,
I'm
no, you're
so
having
glad that I
people
had it
sleeping.
last year because I haven't, that was the first party I'd had in 20 years. I
Right.
just don't, I never bothered with parties and I just felt like doing something festive.
Mm.
And I'm so glad because, you know, who knows if ever, right?
And it was such a mellow and fun and lively and
I was so happy. I put down, the party was from 1 to 4 thinking people would come in and leave. People came at 1 and they left at 4.
well, of
That
course,
was
the food
wonderful.
was
People
really
just
good.
stayed. It was great.
Yeah. We were chatting with. I wanted to get him on the show, and I never did. But Peter Bartlett, the actor, he was at our table. and
I can get you in touch with Peter if you
Get me
need his
back in touch
info.
with Peter Bartlett.
Absolutely, I'm sure he'd love to do it.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
And can you get me back in touch with Cynthia? Because she disappeared. She's back. She disappeared. She's back. Ah.
You are so scary, Cynthia, doing that because you just completely disappear.
I'm scary anyway.
No, you're not, sweetie. You look very lovely, but the point is, you bend over and you're gone. I mean, it's like
I would
you
take
never
off the
existed.
screen, but I can't do it while we're on.
Oh,
Well, but anyway, we're still doing our today yesterday quiz.
Oh, are we? Yes.
And Leslie, you're still in front. It's 6-4 Leslie versus the Kirsch Shubs. We have more questions for you. This one's for Leslie, and I'm sorry, this one is for Cynthia.
You guys, that was mine.
The year 1965. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Beatles play at Shea Stadium to hordes of screaming fans. Roughly how many Beatlemaniacs were there? It's multiple choice. 35,000, 55,000, 75,000, or 90,000. How many people were in the stands for the Beatles playing Shea in 1965 on August 15th? I'll read the choices again before you give the answer, or you can pass, but.
Say it slowly, David, because it takes time for people to listen on the.
So today, yesterday, back in 1965, the Beatles were at Shea. How many screaming memes were there to shout for them? 35,000, 55,000, 75,000, or 90,000?
Clarifying question.
Sure.
In the stands or?
Oh.
Because we know the stands.
The head count. This is, well, let's assume that it wasn't like they were so packed in that, there was SRO. I mean, let's assume.
But the stands hold 55,000.
Right. Let's assume they were all seated.
Then it's 55,000. That's what the stadium holds. What else?
And there was no seating.
The answer is 55,600. So yeah, that's what I was going for. I should have said they didn't overcrowd, they didn't block the edge.
And I was one of them. Yes, my sister got us tickets for my birthday because it's August 4th. And we were in like the next to the last row at the very tippy top. Everything was that big. And you couldn't hear for the next 3 days. We were all deaf because you never heard the music. There were no big teletrons at the time.
Right,
you couldn't see a goddamn thing.
Just people screaming.
Yeah.
But we were so happy to be there. And we were all screaming, and that's all that happened. It was one solid scream from beginning to end.
And yet you're
Movies, and they got sound. They were able to do it when they took, but we couldn't hear a thing. Except,
and yet it was still great.
I used to have a ticket stub. I wish I could find it. It's I've moved 4 times in the last five years, so I have no idea where little trinkets like that are. But I have a ticket stub.
So you didn't throw it out. It just is in a box. Somewhere.
It's in a wallet with a couple of other ticket stubs, like a ticket stub to Camelot that cost like $4.20. That kind of thing. Just a couple of odd little things that I put aside. But it was an amazing. The Beatles were her thing, and then she took me, because she's younger than I am, and I suddenly became a Beatles fan.
Wow!
On that day when I couldn't hear them.
And to think you could have gone to the Dave Clark 5 instead, and there you go. Anywho, well done.
That's amazing that you knew the exact number in the stands, though. That you knew the exact number of seats, because I have no idea how many people were there.
My husband is a huge Met fan.
I am a huge fan too, but not in person. I root for them in my heart. I root for them.
We've been to many games.
Yeah,
and I've been to Shea Stadium probably one more time, and I wouldn't have any idea how many seats there were. I'm glad that wasn't my question.
How many are in City Field, by the way?
45,000.
Oh, they made it smaller?
Yeah, smaller.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't have known that either. That would have been a good follow-up question, Dave. That would have been a good follow-up question. They could have gotten that one right too.
Yeah, I know. How many? We have someone else who apparently went. Yeah.
Cynthia knows her. Marla Feldman Maresca.
Do you know someone named Marla Feldman?
Yes, my very good friend.
So was she there at the? Was that the friend? No, you were with your sister.
I was
so
there in '66.
No, I'm the one who went. I'm the one who went,
forgive me.
not Cynthia.
Yeah.
It's okay. And no, I don't know Margot Feldman. She probably was sitting next to me, but I don't know her.
That could very well be. You probably screamed at each other. Ah!
That's right. That's right.
Hey, who was your favorite Beatle? Did you have
Who are
one?
we talking to?
Well, once you became a Beatles fan after that concert, was there one who rang your bell?
It rotated. I swear to God. One day it just rotated. And my sister, a couple of years ago, Ringo Starr has a touring band.
Yeah.
So in honor of what she did for me at that early birthday in 1965, she took me down to see Ringo Starr in Atlantic City.
Oh.
So, it was interesting. it just rotated. I would feel sorry for Ringo because he felt left out, and then I'd see George. No, I never. I always rotated it. I had love
think
for all of
when
them.
I was younger, I think all the girls loved Paul.
Well, Paul.
Yeah, but that's the reason that I like John. You know what I'm saying? It's because everybody else. It was just to be contrary.
Yeah.
There was always a reason why I liked one more than another.
Oh, no, I had a crush on Klaus Foreman. Quite honestly, I know I'm
Say
kidding.
it again.
Oh, my
You like Lin-Manuel Miranda. You guys like. I know who that was. He was the fifth
Oh,
Beatle.
man.
Nobody knows that he was the fifth Beatle, but he was.
He was. Lord.
She
Jim
still
heard
won't like
an
him.
audition, but couldn't get into the.
Right.
Oh,
He was
oh.
ahead of his time. That was what happened.
By the way, we have a tie game. By the way, it's Jeff and Cynthia 6, and Leslie Hoban Blake 6 in our yesterday quiz on Dave's gone by. The next question now goes to speaking.
How long do we have to play this? I mean, can we just keep going? I'm enjoying myself. This is fun.
Me too. That's all. I hope everybody watching is enjoying this.
Until everybody's gone.
If you
Was
guys,
there anybody out there before? I don't know.
no, if you guys are tied after 10, we have one tiebreaker, and we can have a tie game. I mean, it's just, there's no prize.
No, do a tiebreaker. What do you guys think?
Oh, you guys, somebody likes.
Doesn't matter. That's fine. We can tie. Doesn't matter. We play for fun.
Yes.
All right. Oh, well,
I
that's
say that because we're not winning.
All right, here we go.
Well, nobody's winning. We're all tied, so it's
At the
nobody's
moment,
winning.
right. So we still have more questions to go. And this one is for you, Leslie Hoban Blake. 1969 is the year. It's another music-related question. 3 days of peace and music began in upstate New York. This
You have to talk a little louder. I get the gist of what you're saying, but I'm missing it.
Oh, sorry. I'll say it again. 3 days of
No.
peace and music began on this date in 1969 in upstate New York. The festival was held on a dairy farm in Bethel, New York. Who owned the farm?
Yasgur.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it was Yasgur's farm. I didn't get to go. I wanted to go.
You're
and I
lucky.
just-
You would have been in a traffic
No,
jam.
I'm just so glad I didn't. When I saw the pictures, I'm so glad I didn't. And I worked with Jonathan, I can't think of his last name now. He won a Tony for being in Burn This. Hogan, Jonathan Hogan. I directed his cabaret show.
Yeah.
And he was there. And he said he took yellow or blue, whatever they were smoking and ingesting at the time.
Yes,
And he doesn't remember much of it, but he found a picture in a Life magazine compendium, and he sees himself standing on top of the hood of a car, and it's actually him. He said he looked and looked for years to find a picture of himself.
Was he
Found
It
dressed?
turned out
himself
to be in Life magazine. Oh my God.
There he was, yeah. But they were. I mean, I would not. I am a I'm a glamper. If I go, I want to go in an RV with everything: indoor toilet, television, all the amenities. I would not in a second put my toe in mud, much less my entire body. So I'm just glad I didn't go.
Yeah.
I was in sleepaway camp and they told us we're going to Woodstock. And we were all so excited, but they actually took us to Woodstock, New York.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely, sleepy little town.
Oh, love it. I love
I know.
Woodstock, but it
That's where it happened.
wasn't what we were
Woodstock-
expecting.
I got you. I understand. And if they take you to the Yasgur's farm, there would have been an empty cow patch. You wouldn't have liked that either, right?
True. Yeah, no, they're actually 90 minutes drive away from each other, Bethel and Woodstock, New York.
And that road, you saw the pictures of the road with the
Yeah.
cars. And what?
Joyce is saying that you can actually go to Bethel and Woodmere here. You can dominate.
Right.
Oh my
But
God, we're doing.
The road was stuck with cars. People had to leave their cars and walk to get there. They couldn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was just
miles, and then it rained. I would have been so miserable. We went camping a few years ago to something that sort of approximates Woodstock in a very small way, called Merle Fest in one of the Carolinas. It was not Merle Haggard, but no, it was South Carolina or North. I think it was North Carolina.
Merle Street.
Merle Saunders?
Not Merle Streep. It was
Dave, when I get around you, I start doing Dave humor. I can't help it. It's just the way
that's
it
the
goes.
horrifying thing, isn't it?
It's contagious.
It was
It
one
is.
of the worst times of my. I was sick. We were in a tent. I
Oh.
hated every minute of it. Oh, I'm not meant for.
My son and daughter-in-law camp everywhere, including Iceland. I do not know where he came from. His father was from the Midwest and had no interest in camping. He came to New York to get away from that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, I do not know where my son's genes came from because I don't know
They
anyone
came
in
from
my family.
Levi's, essentially.
What?
They came from Levi's. That's where his genes came from.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we camped once. It was supposed to be for 3 days. We lasted a day, turned around and went home.
They will go.
It was a bluegrass festival.
Oh,
Whirlfest, yeah.
And it was great, but it was pouring rain and we were in a tent and I was like, no. And then I see all these people with RVs and I go, yeah, that's what we need.
do you know how the RV market has exploded?
I'm looking
in the
for
last 5
one.
months?
I'm trying to find an RV. You
Oh,
can't get one.
You can't get them now.
Because when I move to Arizona, we're going to be driving and I'd rather go by RV.
When are you moving to Arizona?
Well, my pool's not finished yet. We bought a house.
Seriously?
Just talk about bad luck. I bought it at the end of February.
Oh.
So we can't even go out there. We thought we'd spend the summer there. No.
Why would you want to spend the summer in Arizona?
Well, because I'm off in the summer. I teach.
I did teach. I retired early, but I did teach. But
I have another year.
It's Arizona. The question is, why would you want to go to Arizona in the summer?
Well, because I'll have air conditioning and a pool, and that's it.
It's 100. I have a friend who's in a facility there. It's 110 in the shade. You know.
Yeah, it's very, very hot right now.
And don't tell me it's dry heat because I've been in dry heat. It's still hot.
When we were there, when we were there in February, it was fabulous. I'd never been there before.
You had bad luck. You know what I did? I sold my condo on March 11th.
Yeah.
Wow. It would be worth a bit
I
less.
lost what I thought was a lot of money. And you know what? I'm so grateful to have gotten out when I did. I can't tell you. It's just.
I think prices are going down in the city and on Long Island, they're going through the roof.
Yeah, people do not want to live in the city right now.
They're moving out in droves, and we're, looking for a house for my son. Every single house that we put a bid on went for over asking. Right. Every house.
Right. And when I took my condo in 2015, I had to pay over because it had a terrace. It was right in the heart of Hell's Kitchen. It was prime real estate, and then Hudson Yards was built. So before the pandemic, on particular apartments like mine, I was in a building called the Strand. Hudson Yards killed the smaller, not new buildings completely. Yeah. Everybody suddenly wants glass and marble and everything should look. So and now Hudson Yards, they just closed Neiman Marcus and some upscale restaurant. So Hudson Yards is not doing all that well. I mean,
nothing in the city.
The $1 million for a studio. That was where the studio price was $1.2 million. I went over and looked at it. We were allowed to go and look, so I went and looked.
Well, you could pick up some cheap real estate now in the city.
Oh, please, I don't ever want to own another thing in my life. Oh God. The first time my refrigerator went on the fritz in the condo, my son said, and I had to get an outside person to fix it. My son said, welcome to the joys of ownership. Anything goes wrong here in my apartment, I pick up a phone, and in 12 minutes, a guy is here fixing it with a smile, I mean,
it is a benefit of renting, but I've been renting. We sold our home in August.
Last year.
And unfortunately, right before the prices went up.
Yeah, right.
So we lost money by selling, and we've been renting now. And yeah, it is a benefit of renting. I do call up the management company and they come and do, but I want to own.
Yes,
Dave doesn't really want us to be side chatting.
Dave has gone by.
Who was your friend? Who was your handsome friend? David, I'm single. Who was your handsome friend?
Wait, what was that?
That's Potato.
No, I think
I know who it is. I was making a joke. I said,
it's wonderful that you guys are getting along. So it's a great conversation.
Okay.
But we're also.
I don't know the rules of this show, so I'm just, I'm just being me. It's the way I am.
Yeah. All right. So. But
what do we got?
I want to remind people you're watching Dave's Gone By. Remember me? I'm Dave Lefkowitz. I'm involved in the show tangentially at this point. This is our 759th episode of the show. Oh, I didn't tell you this, Leslie. We've named this episode Blake Livelier in your honor.
Thank you. I did not get married on a plantation, so I will accept that.
And welcome everybody who's watching. My darling and adorable wife Joyce is helping out with the program. We still have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, our Wretched Pun of Destiny, and Rabbi Saul Solomon will be reading. I don't think we're going to have time for this. He's going to be reading from this book that my ex-coworker just gave me yesterday, all about best friends with Jesus.
Do you know Moon Pie, the little dachshund who does TikToks? It's a family they record their child and then they put the dachshund in saying what the child says. And the dachshund sings, "You are my best friend, my only best friend." It brings tears to your eyes. You have to look it up. TikTok, Moon Pie.
Joyce is because we were dachshund owners.
Unbelievable. And the dachsies are so cute. There's a big one and a small one. And they do this. They make a living. I bought a sweatshirt. It's amazing.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
But it's best friend. That's what it's not about Jesus. It was best friend about the kid.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I talk too much. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
No. Please. This is great. This is so much fun. I'm just letting people know that our show was supposed to be over 5 minutes ago.
I think we're into the next episode.
Congratulations, David. 759 episodes is amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
So cute.
We started the show back in October of 2002.
Wow.
Almost every week since then. Moon Pie Starbucks. Joyce is watching Moon Pie. I always adore it.
And this will be the first 24-hour episode.
This will be
the what, dear?
The first 24-hour episode.
There we go. I've done episodes that were over 8 hours long. We're not
Until you move to Arizona, we'll be here. That's it.
Okay.
We still have a couple of questions on our quiz. We're by
go.
It's 8-6. Leslie is leading in the point spread. Here we go. Who's up? I don't even know who's up next. Let's just talk about real estate.
I have no idea.
Oh no. Oh dear.
What was the last question?
Last question is about Woodstock, which Leslie got right. So
I got that. It's your turn. Thank you. I didn't remember.
Here's a media question. 1979. 3 months after debuting at Cannes, Apocalypse Now was released by United Artists. Which of these well-known actors did not have a minor role in the film? Was it Scott Glenn, Willem Dafoe, Harrison Ford, or Dennis Hopper? Okay, so remember,
You said they were not in it at all?
Not in the movie in any kind of a role.
Okay.
3 out of these 4 were in the movie, even in perhaps a smallish role. So this was 1979. Who was not in Apocalypse Now at all? Was it Scott Glenn, Willem Dafoe, Harrison Ford, or Dennis Hopper? And this is a question for Cynthia and Jeff.
All right, I'm going with a wild guess here.
Okay.
We're pretty sure.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We're pretty sure of 2 of them.
All right.
We have 1 for 4.
One I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
One I think is a trick. So I'm going to say Harrison Ford.
So you're saying Harrison Ford. Somebody else chimed in with Harrison Ford. Okay, I'm going to throw this question to Leslie because that is the wrong answer.
I was shaking my head because I thought that's who it was too. Okay. Oh, I get a second chance at this.
You get to steal this one. So was it? Here, I'll read the names again. Who was not at all in Apocalypse Now? Was it not Scott Glenn, Willem Dafoe, Harrison Ford, or Dennis Hopper?
Do I lose anything if I guess wrong?
No, there's no minus points on this.
I'll guess Willem Dafoe.
So Leslie's guessing Willem
Your
Dafoe.
guess.
Any other answers from the gallery there?
You don't want to hear the answer to this.
Please don't tell me they said Lin-Manuel Miranda, because he was not in the movie.
Yes.
Lin-Manuel is not in Apocalypse.
Then that's the right answer.
Oh, you know,
You're not even paying attention to your own test.
Leslie, you're running away with this game. Willem Dafoe, not really acting that much at that point. Was still not really probably known even beyond Whisper Group at that stage. So,
He was down at Worcester. Yeah, he wasn't doing movies. He was too good for movies in those days.
But Harrison Ford has a pretty. It's a early scene in the film, but he's fairly prominently in it.
I would have said that. I would have agreed with you and lost the point.
Thank you. It makes me feel better, but I still don't have those points.
I know. Oh, Yeah, no, this is getting, oh dear. Leslie now has 10.
But it's a friendly game, so I'm being friendly.
Well, it started out that way.
Oh, we want to go for blood. Okay. Okay, the mitt's off. I'm fine with that. I can do.
Here we go. We have our.
Wait, I'll take off my earrings.
We're getting serious here.
And then we'll really go.
How do we have 10 questions and we're landing up again on? Oh no, now we go to Leslie. That's right. This last question is for you, Leslie. Technically, actually, you won the game, I believe already.
I thought you said there were 10 each.
5 each. Oh no, we'll be here until 4 o'clock in the afternoon if this is 10.
Oh,
5 questions.
big time.
Well, you're not allowed to talk. If you have to just answer questions, we would have been gone a long time ago.
It's fine. No, you can. I love this. I think this went so fabulously well. And part of that was that you guys would go off and extemporize and be extraneous. I love
And just ignore you.
Yeah, basically.
Extraneous is my other middle name.
Is it really? It's Leslie.
Yeah, it was, my mother was one of those Latin students, you know. So that,
well, we'll give you the last question anyway, just for fun, just for funsies. The year was 1995. Los del Rio wrote the song the year before, but a remix by the Bayside Boys turned the tune into a pop hit and a dance craze. Name that tune.
can you say that? I'm in very unknown territory here. Name, I'll let you guys look.
1995 was the year.
I spell the name of the first guy.
Sure. It's Los del Rio. Los del Rio.
LOSDELRIO.
Right. Wrote the song the year before. It was remixed by the Bayside Boys, and that version turned the tune into both a
Do
pop
you
hit.
take points away if I get it wrong?
No, only if you pass, you lose.
The only thing I can think of is that I'm sure it was not that year, it was the Macarena, but I can't think of anything else.
That was my answer.
Do you want to just go with it?
That's what people are saying.
I wouldn't know. If it's not the Macarena, I would have no idea.
Well, so you're giving that as an official answer then.
Yeah.
Hey, Macarena, you got it right.
That was it.
Correct answer. It was the Macarena. Oh my goodness.
I have no stories about that one. I truly don't know that at all. I was very busy in cabaret in 1995.
I use that song when I'm teaching multiplication.
Really?
Very good idea.
3 and 6 and 9 Macarena, 12, 15, 18 Macarena, 21,
Excellent.
24, 27 Macarena, 30 Macarena.
Boy, could I have used you when I was trying to teach my kid multiplication tables. He could not get them for shit. He just could not get them. We
No one gets
hired a
them.
tutor. We hired a tutor to teach him multiplication tables.
Well, how do you do on division? If you couldn't get my multiplication, how do you do?
We're not going to go. We're not even going to go there.
Oh, right,
The point is, he couldn't get multiplication. So
Wow.
I
guess-
never thought of any kind of, anything that was away from that.
You know what? This is so much fun. I'm gonna just throw the tiebreaker to whoever wants to do it. By the way, Leslie,
Even though we're not tied.
It's like the post millennials where everybody wins.
oh, that's right. Everybody gets a prize. You're all great. You're all incredibly glamorous. You all tried so hard. and it's rare for Cynthia and Jeff to be bested in this.
Just like moon pie, except our dogs were cuter than moon pie.
Are you? Well,
Oh, she found it? Yeah, look up the one that's best friend. Look up
Yeah.
the one that says best friend.
Our dachshunds were cuter, but our dachshunds were they were digitally had digital exclusion. They did not participate.
Yeah.
But you're not monetizing your dachshunds. What's wrong with you? Get out there and monetize them.
I'm trying to monetize my husband, Leslie.
We're trying to do it with a box of Oofty's ashes, but it's very hard to make them talk.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dave, before I forget, did you take one of the civil service jobs?
That is correct. Yes, I did. In other words, I never finished. I thought I finished the story, but on Monday I begin my new civil service position in a school district locally. So
As a tracer, or will you be doing tracing?
No, as a worker bee, as a fellow in administration, helping making sure that the school district gets.
Congratulations. There
Absolutely.
are jobs.
Well, yeah, if you take
You take those tests.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
David scored #1. They weren't supposed to release the score, and we get a letter saying out of, you know, how many thousands of people that took the test, you're number one. And then they're like, oh, we shouldn't have sent out the scoring letter with the number that you were.
Yeah, I always got the score. I'm surprised they said that.
I got, well, the teacher's exam, I got the score. I remember that.
And when my first job, I got off a list when I was a speech therapist, and they give you the list. They even tell you who's above and below you. And my son took the same civil service tests, and they always sent out the list. I'm just surprised they told you that. But number one is excellent.
Yeah,
that's marvelous. Congratulations on both scores. Congratulations on number one. Congratulations on a job. In both ways, it's fantastic.
It'd be more appropriate if I were a number two, if you know me. But no, it was a number one. That was Joyce's joke. I didn't even make that. She made me tell that joke.
Oh God, she's caught it from you.
No. But yeah, no, that was the thing. I haven't been able to get jobs for years, maybe because of my personality, my age, my resume. I'm in the wrong field.
But those tests don't care.
Test, and I can make like, just barely above minimum wage and benefits. Yay! Yeah.
The benefits, though, really are wonderful.
Well, yeah, that's pretty neat. CSEA.
Well, you know, they're a lot less than they were. You know that.
The benefits.
What tier? It depends on your tier.
Exactly.
I'm still tier 2.
People coming in now. I mean, I got the best of the best. I didn't get a big payout because I left early, but because I had an accident and I couldn't actually work anymore.
I had an accident just before, but that's why I'm wearing diapers.
Leslie, I'm one of the last tier 2s left.
Okay, then you know what I'm talking about.
They're up to 6 now.
The people coming in are getting nothing. I mean, I have dental. I have dental. You know, we could go through all the wonderful benefits. And even though I never made a lot, and even though my pension is really small, my friends who stayed in 5 or 10 more years made more than double what I make. They're the ones who have the extra houses in Florida or wherever.
This is why I was able to buy a house.
I'm not complaining because I actually had time to have a whole second career, which didn't give me a lot of money, but I did make money once upon a time doing that. David, congratulations. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. I mean, I'm ambivalent. I'm always ambivalent about everything. I've been leaving. I should be a Sondheim musical. It's like one job. Should I really leave? This new job seems okay. I wish I were independently wealthy and was.
At this time, you're lucky you're getting a job. Really.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Not for me, but for other people.
I know lots of people without jobs, and they just can't find any.
And not being able to
civil
find
service
it.
test.
No, that takes a year.
And the old fallback of waiting on tables isn't there anymore.
No.
Yeah. My fallback of dancing on tables, that did not go well. I would smash cutlery. It wasn't. Yeah.
All right. I just had a picture of you and Joan Crawford dancing on a table. Well, she was well known for her dance on a table, and when she was a flapper, that's how she got started.
Oh.
She was a dancer, and she danced on a table in a movie. It's crazy, weird, eccentric dance.
And this is where my mind goes. Speaking of flappers, I want to give a shout out to friends of ours whose son is, I think, 16 or 17 years old.
Don't say it.
No.
Say it.
Oh, I have to know.
No, David. No, she'll be mad.
All right. It's a private joke.
Now my curiosity is overwhelming. You'll have to send us a text and tell us what it says.
Yeah, remind me.
All right, let's do the last question. We're getting tired.
Here we go. The last question of our today, yesterday.
I'm on my exercise bike, Cynthia, while we're doing this. Just so
Are you really?
Yes, I am. I set it up. I have my.
We already have an answer.
That's a great idea.
It's. I only got it now. I wish I'd gotten it 3 months ago because I don't go out in the heat period.
I know I have to walk circles around my kitchen island.
Yeah. When this is over, if you want to know what I got, it's $200. I had it put together.
Is it the one just under the desk?
No, I'm on a full-size recumbent.
One.
It's a full-size recumbent because I can't sit on a regular bike. I have
my sons in the other room.
And if you have someone who can assemble it, you're all set.
Okay, we're gonna.
It's like you can't tell if I'm wearing shorts and all of that. I am on a bike.
Excellent.
That's what I love about this. I could be half naked.
I am half naked.
Depends on which half.
Below that, folks.
Right, I know. Stephen Colbert the other night threw his leg. Stephen Colbert threw his leg up in the air the other day, and his hairy leg with a sandal on. He was wearing shorts and.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never knew he had hairy legs.
Don't show us your legs, David.
I've seen David's legs. We were up at camp together. I've seen David's legs.
There you go. Not too shabby. Oh, this is the knee I hurt yesterday.
We were up at the O'Neill. That's where I met him, and it was all outdoors.
Hey, here we go.
Oh my God, David. Okay, I believe you. Sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Sit down. You got a new job starting Monday. Sit down.
You're getting older. Don't climb on
Don't fuck
things.
it up.
I climbed on something and broke my back. Don't do that.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is why I have a handy person come in to do anything, even putting stuff on the top.
I learned my lesson 3 years ago. I climbed on something. I fell on my back and broke one of my vertebrae.
Oh my
So
God.
don't climb on things. You're
Don't.
getting older.
I second and
My
third.
wife tells me not to climb on her every morning. And
I'm not going that far.
Anywho, last question, our tiebreaker, which is by the way, Leslie, congratulations for winning the game.
Yes,
But-
I want my prize. I want to see my prize.
I think it's a balloon.
Well, now this is going to be one that I'm sure Cynthia and Jeff will get. 1997 is the year. The Los Angeles Dodgers retired the uniform, number 2, of this former pitcher and longtime manager who led them to 2 World Series and was known for both his tirades and pasta sauces. At age 92,
Lasorda.
he is now the oldest living Baseball Hall of Famer. Tommy Lasorda is the correct answer.
4 points for that. We're tied.
Oh,
It's okay with me.
Time maker, right?
well, so,
That was a time maker question.
a Tom Maker. What?
Tie
Tie
maker.
Maker as opposed to breaker.
Maker. Well, you guys got it right off the
It's
bat.
a Dave Lefkowitz pun. You should have gotten it.
I missed
Yeah,
it.
really.
Well, I'm a little Zoom delayed in my pun getting stuff. So
You're getting
sometimes.
a bit zoomy there, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? You know, he sent me a thing and it says, it looks like there's nothing there, but push it anyway. What kind of crazy thing is that?
That's why I
It's
told
an
my wife. I'm a
invisible
honeymoon.
link. He sent me an invisible link. So I'm going, that can't be. There's nothing
said
there.
that.
But he said, do it. So I finally did it. And sure enough, there's not, it looks like there's nothing there, but push it anyway.
Well, what happened was I was copy pasting out of a message to someone, and it was light colored ink, and for some reason it went invisible in the.
I hope you're not sorry I came, guys, because I almost didn't. I was going to throw in the towel on that.
No, it's great.
Okay.
This was a delay.
Well,
Can
thank
you
you.
guy can we do this next week? If you guys are available next.
Sure. I mean, this hour of the morning on Saturday is usually free for me.
Every day is free for me. Where am I going?
I know. Well, you're going to Arizona at some point, but not
But
yet.
I would love to get my sister on, because at least she can answer the theater questions.
Well, it won't work. That's not fair because I can't just.
Who
change
said
it.
fair? Whoa.
Whoa. I'm going to play down and dirty the next time.
Well, that's a whole
That's how
different
it's
thing.
going to go.
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe we can get 3. I've got to rework the rules.
You
but
can
maybe
get
we
4. You can get at least. There
I
goes
got that many questions. I
You
got-
can get 30.
Oh, I see. Well, that's your problem. That's your
Listen,
problem.
Dave, we can write them on this. There is a chat.
No, I'm saying, but I have to make up these questions. I'm not just stealing them from.
Yeah, we
Facebook.
can answer. We can all answer the same ones, I'm saying.
Oh, and then go up against each other like.
And then the first one that gets it right, that's all. Because we can answer on the chat that's in Zoom.
Oh,
I don't have that. I don't
It's
even know.
there. It is
Yeah.
there. I just have to.
Leslie, if you go to, if you see the chat window.
Well, it says Facebook. I don't even have Facebook.
No,
so-
you're in Zoom right now.
But over here, it says recording live on Facebook.
And then on the bottom,
Does it
there's,
have
it
any?
should
I don't have
say,
anything on the, oh, I'm sorry, I do.
you
hang
see
on,
where
let
it
me-
says more.
No, I'm looking, wait. Oops, I lost you completely, shit. You're gone.
Oh,
I
We
lost
see
you.
you
What do I do?
change the view. Oh, hello, Cynthia.
Ask her if she's on a Mac or PC.
Are you on a Mac or does it matter? Are you on a Mac?
I'm on a PC.
And
I'm on a PC also, and I'm doing this thing around and you disappeared. I must have left the,
It's one of
I'm
the
glad I'm
windows.
still there.
We still see
I-
you.
You know what? I won't bother getting on. It's the last question. Just do it and
I thought we did it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
you
That
did
was a tiebreaker.
then I
Yeah.
guess I'm done. I think that was God's way of telling me I'm finished.
Well, no, God forbid, you are far from finished, Leslie Hoban Blake.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Boy, I had to fish hard for that one, didn't I?
Where do I keep disappearing? Oh,
Listen, I disappear disappeared completely. What are you talking about? I'm
But
gone.
we see you. We do.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, we
Oh,
just-
good. I'm so glad I didn't put my finger in my nose or
Goes
anything
back
like
on,
that.
Leslie.
It was a pleasure playing with you.
Yeah.
Notice I didn't say against you. I said
I
with
noticed
you.
that was very gracious.
Yes, I thought so. And I look forward to next week. I promise I will put my tooth in for that.
Yeah.
It was the last thing I forgot to do it. I have a little flipper that you put in to fill the space.
But then we
I
have to
can't
rename
get
the
it. It's
show
too
Color
close
Tooth.
to my
It's
sinuses.
funny
I
if we don't
can't-
notice it.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
until I
fine.
call
You
it
look
to your
fine.
attention. The thing is, I can't get an implant because it's too close to my sinuses. So I
Why
have
not just a bridge?
No, it's nothing. It's this
Yeah,
this is considered a bridge, but I take it out because I don't like the way it feels if I don't have to have it in.
What about a tunnel? Yeah.
A tunnel.
On that note, I'm leaving for good, for real.
Leslie, thank you so much. We'll see you, God willing, next week.
Thank
as
you.
part
So,
of
are
today's
you going to
show.
send me an invisible link again, or could you send me one I could see this time?
I will send you a proper link, I promise.
A proper link. Okay.
Yes,
Bye.
Goodbye, Joyce. Goodbye, Jeff.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Leslie.
Goodbye, Leslie.
Goodbye, Mr. Potato Head.
And Mr. Chicken or Miss Chicken. It's
I
fake.
didn't see the chicken people. I don't know
Say the
anything
head
about
party.
them.
Yeah.
That's the
I can
chicken.
hear them.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
bye, Leslie, and bye, Cynthia and Jeff, because we've got to finish our show.
Take
I'm
care,
looking
guys.
forward to it. Have a great one. I'm gonna
Take care. You too. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna
And goodbye to Marla. And goodbye to Stacy.
bye. I'm gonna wait. How do I lose participants? Let's just okay. Wait, where do
Go
I?
to participants.
Oh,
Go
just
to
remove?
participants.
Yeah.
and- Yeah, you can-
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
here's the background.
Farewell to Leslie. Remove. Bye.
There you are.
Oh, and there we go. And then we've got Cynthia and Jeff. Bye. And thank you so much for playing. We'll see you two next week. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye-bye. That was a break.
Bye. Dave's gone by. Well, I thought that went rather smashingly well, don't you? I mean, it's all about fun. It's not about the game. It's not about, the dumb questions I have to write. It's just
Competition, who
it
knew?
was fun. And maybe I can work this out or have a little help and get some more questions and have 3 people playing against each other.
He
Or
wants to play too next time.
And Jeff, well, yeah, now that Jeff, we know, has over his jet lag, we'll see. Maybe we might have 4 people playing against each other in a Zoom window.
Oh, Robert likes that idea.
Robert, who?
Alan.
Oh, no, Rob, yeah, I think it's gonna be great fun. And wasn't that? No, I mean, I didn't know how the hell this was gonna go. And what did you think of it,
I
Ben?
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was very lively.
but please note that it took almost an hour and a half to ask 10 questions. 11
What did
questions.
they say? 5 people in a room.
If you ever watch Jeopardy, Alex Trebek zips through, what is it, 6 times 5, like 60 questions in 20 minutes before he even gets the
Been on
final.
air for, how
Yeah.
many years have you been on the air? They've been on the air for what, 50 years?
You know, I've been on the air almost 18 years.
Yeah, but now with the quiz, this is probably a year or 2 old. It's not pretty new.
Yeah, no, the quiz I just started months ago. So thank you for first of all, everybody for tuning in. Thanks for joining all the participants. There is more show to come. I know we're late. I know the show should have ended at noon, and here we are. We're not, alas. There will not be time, and I apologize to Rabbi Sal Solomon. We're just not going to have the time
It's 12:30, honey.
to read this. Yeah, we're supposed to be off at noon. So I'm afraid this will have to wait. Here, let's have just a 4 spice, as my mother would say, a taste of this book. What is it? I can't read this backwards. They had lots of kids, and they were naughty too. And that's someone bashing the hell out of Adolf Hitler. So I don't see that as being a very bad thing. Anywho, Best Friend coming up next week on Dave's Gone By. Still to come on this episode of Dave's Gone By, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned and our Wretched Pun of Destiny, as well as the Friends of the Daverhood. My goodness, I'm just, it's I think we're both exhausted and still like up and excited because that went so well. So thank you so much, guys. Why don't we? Yeah, this is one of the best ways I have of bringing everybody down after so much joy, after so much light and delight and fun it's time to go in the opposite direction and bring in the wretched pun of destiny. And this is where I tell a tiny little short story that at the end of it is capped with a play on words, a little, a final line, if you will, where you just listen to that and you put your head in your hands and you go, oh, no, oh. And all the goodwill and all the life and the joy that you've been experiencing for the past hour and a half, let alone last 3.5 hours, just drains out of your body. And you remember that you're in a horrible pandemic, and you remember that everything's going wrong, and you just remember how miserable life tends to be most of the time. Our wretched pun of destiny accomplishes that in just a moment or two. Here it is. The day has gone by, wretched pun of destiny. Today's wretched pun of destiny has to do with Moses. Moses was in a terrible state. God had just told him to ask Pharaoh to free the Jewish slaves. But I'm no diplomat, Moses tells Aaron. I have speech problems. I'm shy. I'm nervous. Look at this. My hands are shaking, and I'm not even at the palace yet. Chill, bro, says Aaron. Let me bring you to Boaz, the pharmacist. Within minutes, they're at Boaz's cave, where the old man is rummaging through his medications. Here we are, he says, counting out pills. These are for relaxation. They're made from ginger and lavender to stop those shaking hands of yours. Plus, they have mint in them, so they taste great and freshen your breath in the bargain. Perfect, says Aaron. How many does he need? 10, replies Boaz. 10, says Moses. Isn't that a lot of pills for just the jitters? Not at all, says Boaz. If you're going to Pharaoh, you're going to need the 10 calm hand mints. We here at Dave's Gone By apologize for bringing you the wretched pun of destiny. Yes, the 10 calm hand mints. Yes. And this is why we tell you that you can send your complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. That is the address. I still have an AOL address, davesgoneby@aol.com. I try and read every email that I get. I respond to pretty much all of them, as well as you can just message me right on Facebook. You can watch the show. You don't even have to be a friend or follower of the show to watch us on Facebook. It's open to the public. And I guess you can post a message to me as well, or send me a direct private message if you are a friend of the Daverhood. So just request.
Another comedian.
Oh, another comedian? Who said what?
He's going to message me and to you, but I've sent
Oh, fantastic. Please, is it Ryan or Ryan left?
Yeah,
Oh, there's a different fellow. But either way, I love to hear from you. And I'd love to hear from you both on this website, the Facebook site, which is Dave's Gone By, or it's also under my name, David Lefkowitz. But you've got even simpler, just send me an old-fashioned email. It's davesgoneby@aol.com. And do follow our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, Radio Dave and the number 2. All of it is ways to keep in touch with the show, ways to keep in touch with me. And remember, there are ways to listen to this program, not just this past, we'll save this, we'll archive this episode, and you can watch it anytime, both by scrolling down on your Facebook page, like the last 3 years of our shows. Our videos are all just right here on Facebook, but we've got our own website, davesgoneby.com. Our first show from 2002 is up there. It's audio only. It was a radio show. And then our 101st and our 301st and our 701st episode, where I believe we're already doing the videos. But all of that is for free. You can either download them or just stream them right on your computer at any time. You can, if you don't want to watch a whole 4-hour show, you can skim through it to the parts that you want. And we even have a separate archive of all the interviews that we've done over the years. They're all at davesgoneby.com. If you are a podcasty person like Cynthia and Jeff and Leslie were talking about the exercise bikes that they've got, some people don't want to sit and watch for all this time. They just want to hear. We have our archives of the audio at castbox.fm. That's a place specifically made for podcasting. So you can do the podcast from our davesgoneby.com or go to castbox.fm. And I think they're linked with Google Play or something like that, where it makes it really easy to get the podcast of every show we've ever done. We're also, our archives are at archive.org. archive.org. Either way, and we're all on YouTube too. So Dave's Gone By is all over the place. Sometimes you have to look for it. You got to Google search us, but check our site first for all the archives. It's amazing how many wonderful people have been on the program. For example, Leslie Hoban Blake, what a life that she has led, being a director and working with all these Broadway people and off-Broadway people, having seen the Beatles at Shea Stadium, now a New Yorker living through the pandemic, daughter of a famous writer, Russell Hoban. I mean, and you know, she's a friend of the Daverhood. So many interesting, cool people like that. For example, and that's a great lead in to our weekly segment, the Friends of the Daverhood. Not only that, it's extra appropriate because in the background is Hayden. Oh, you can come out of Hayden now. Oh. So yes, Friends of the Daverhood are folks who have been on this program. Oh, well, we're going to close in almost on a 4-hour mark. I think we're still broadcasting. I hope so. We lose them? Well, I don't know how long they allow. Oh my God, what's the word? How long they allow the not breakout rooms. What is it called?
Now you're back.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Welcome back. Anyway, let's do the Friends of the Daverhood. For example, oh gosh, you know, we were talking about Broadway news and shows closing and people in Broadway theater dying. There was just this heart-rending piece written by Danny Burston. I think it was for vulture.com. I'm not sure where it was for, but Danny Burston's a friend of the Daverhood, a fine Broadway actor. You might have seen him in Fiddler on the Roof. He was in a revival of Follies. Danny Burston recovered from COVID a couple of months ago, and he got it pretty bad, but not quite ventilator bad, but he suffered a bit. And he's writing about it to say that some of his symptoms have recurred here and there. So he thinks he's completely over it, and then some weird thing will happen for a day or two, and he'll be reminded, oh my God, I got over this terrible pandemical disease. The really heartbreaking part of the piece that he wrote is that he's husband and caregiver to another friend of the Daverhood, his beautiful and tremendously talented wife, Rebecca Luker. Rebecca Luker came down with Lou Gehrig's disease last November. And she is, and I'm not saying anything out of turn, she's just sliding down very quickly, downhill since November. She got COVID. And she beat it, but she's not beating ALS. She hasn't walked in half a year. She can no longer eat by herself, can't change her own clothes, brush her own hair. It's just this unbelievably sad and depressing piece by Danny Burston. So first of all, wish him well. We wish her well. They're both friends of the Daverhood. They're both on one of our Tony broadcasts many years ago. There's not really much else to say. It's just God sometimes throws cry. You know, this woman can say, put your trust in God and for her, Jesus, and, you know, let him deliver you. It's not doing much for a lot of people this year. He really isn't, if he's there. But anywho, I need my toothbrush. I'm in such a funk right now. I need my happy, my electric toothbrush with battery power that puts my brain in lobotomy mode. Actually hurts. I think I'm pressing on a cavity now. Right?
Oh, Robert Callum wants the link too. He said, "How do I get the link?"
The link to
Quiz.
Robert. Do you want to be on our quiz?
He said, "How do I get the link?" That was the.
Oh,
I
okay.
usually reach out to him.
Let's
and Jeff.
Robert, message me after the show later today after the show's
I
over,
don't know how to write him.
and let's get you on. Can't you just reply to his one of his statements? Oh, I don't have the link yet for next week's show anyway, but I can get, boy, we can have a real round robin where everyone gets one question. Anyway, let's get happier a little bit. Let's, a very cool interview with our friends Irene Sankoff and David Hine in the Toronto Star newspaper. Irene Sankoff and David Hine created the lovely, fun, moving musical Come From Away, which, like every other musical, is on hiatus on Broadway at the moment. They've been spending COVID, and apparently they've turned in a screenplay to the movie studios to turn their musical into a movie, and then they've got a draft and then they've turned in. So congratulations to them in the holding pattern that they are, that everybody else in the theater is in. Irene Sankoff and David Hine. Happy news for our friend Sylvie Simmons. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but Compass Records just released her new album, Blue on Blue. She's a very nice songwriter, plays on the ukulele, which appropriately enough, she said she used to think it was this really cute instrument, this like toy. And then she realized it's much more of a sad instrument, like a guitar that couldn't. I have my, we can do a duet with her on my xylophone.
I think Robert's in the next week.
Great, that'll be fantastic. Next week we'll probably do 10:30. Oh no,
if you start 10:30, you're not going to have a show till 1.
Yeah, no, I'm pre-setting a guest coming next week at 10. So many time for that. Yeah, this show, man, we're talking about the guests. So congratulations, by the way. Speaking of horrible things, Sylvie Simmons suffered a terrible accident a couple of years ago that she's spent many months getting over. So it was a big deal that she's playing the ukulele again and that she's making music. So congratulations on her new album, Blue on Blue, from Compass Records. Speaking of music, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Some of these, I swear to God, some of these dates that I put in for people having stuff happening, I put in months ago and never cleared out. So there was supposed to be a concert by someone in Riverhead, and that is not happening. You can watch Steve Ross and KT Sullivan's duet show Love Noel, Songs and Letters of Noel Coward on the website of irishrep.org. Steve Ross, one of the great living cabaret people. And KT Sullivan's great too, but she's not a friend of the Daverhood. He is. So yay for Steve Ross and Love Noel, Songs and Letters of Noel Coward. And then want to let you know that Willie Nile, who was one of the best guests we have ever had, he was on the show,
awesome.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
He was so down to earth, such a lovely human.
And back then we promoted this album, not done by him, but by people covering his music. Well, that comes out on the 21st of August. It's called Willie Nile Uncovered and features, among other people, friends of the Daverhood like John Gorka, Dan Byrne, and Graham Parker. It's Willie Nile Uncovered, the CD. So congratulations and well-deserved to Willie Nile. Want to let you know that Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they keep posting musical duets on their YouTube page. Julie Holston is doing her online, Zoom, YouTube interview show called Virtual Holston on Fridays on her YouTube channel, but you can watch it at any time. Evan Seplow is the founder of StageBuddy.com. Check it out. DrDemento.com for old and new Dr. Demento shows. SoundsOfBroadway.com, we mentioned them before, for 24 hours of Broadway music. And BobCudmore.com for podcasts about upstate New York history. And don't forget to read PhilMushnick.com, Phil Mushnick in the New York Post, where he does, I think, twice a week, columns about media coverage of sports. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. A little bit of Hayden there to take us out of that segment and into our final segment of Dave's Gone By. You thought we could get away without doing it. You thought, oh, we had so much fun with the Today Yesterday quiz. We had a lot of laughs with Greeley Crimes and Old Times. You groaned and doubled over when I was doing the Wretched Pun of Destiny. And we wept a little over the Inside Broadway news. But ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunately time to go to Colorado for just a moment or two, because every week we do a little poem about some town or place or hut in Colorado. It's a limerick, a 5-line poem, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to, and this is completely by accident, but there's a town called Hayden, Colorado, not Hayden, like the composer we were talking about, or that I just played, but Hayden, Colorado, for our weekly limerick.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, to Colorado we go, because I feel a mile high, and then I plummet, doing the Colorado Limerick of the Damned in Hayden, Colorado, which is a small town in northwestern Colorado, population of about 800 people. Salute, and Salute, because the Ute tribe was there, then trappers came, and the town was settled back in 1875. It was named for F.V. Hayden, and then became known for coal mining and agriculture. And even though it is a pretty small town, it's a major airport hub for the ski crowd. It's got a humid climate, so the temperature, I mean, it's hot in the summer, tons of snow in the winter, and yet in nice weather, they've got fishing and hiking and rafting and hunting and snowshoeing. It's all there for you, as in so many times. I mean, we say this every week about pretty much every place in Colorado, but this is for Hayden, Colorado. I did write a brand new poem to celebrate the town of Hayden. Last weekend, I drove up to Hayden, and there I seduced a fair maiden. Although it's a rental, I'm so sentimental, I'm keeping the car she got laid in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Once again, send your complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. Check the website, davesgoneby.com. Check the Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. Keep telling people about this Facebook page, you know, because Joyce can only invite so many people in the watch party, and I have only a little bit of time to deal with this all weekend, and especially now with a new job. So it's incumbent upon you, if you like the show, if you like even parts of the show, and you know people who might feel somehow, for some wrong reason, the way you do, that this is a show worth tuning into, then tell folks about it. Get them to go to davesgoneby.com. Get them to check us out on Facebook, either during the week or watch us live on the program. Either way, the main thing is to just get more and more people into the Daverhood. Well, it is 10-1 Eastern time here on Dave's God. Well, I didn't think yesterday would last an hour and a half. I knew it would go longish, but boy, oh boy. But wasn't it fun? Wasn't it great? Well, let's thank, first of all, my cousins, Cynthia and Jeffrey, Cynthia Shub Kirsch and Jeffrey Kirsch.
But you have to also say that even though they were competitors, everybody got along well. It was a friendly competition.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, all right, are you two still? Have you made up? Are you? Oh God, yeah, we're the best of friends. We dress alike, we look alike, and both of us love ketchup together. Yay! Yay, ketchup! Well, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that just? That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Let's just make sure. Let's see, because we have an even older guys. I'm gonna put you both together. Why don't you say hi to? Hi, I'm a potato. What are you? He's not the brightest one in the book, is he? Why? I couldn't hear you. I said, you're obviously not the brightest one in the batch. Say that to my face. Look into one of my eyes and say that. You're not the brightest. It's going to be a long week, ladies and gentlemen. It just is. But I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and I also want to thank, of course, Leslie Hoban Blake for being with us in the Daverhood and being such a marvelous panelist. Isn't she just meant for video and audio and being on TV and being on camera? Isn't she fabulous? And the Shubs too. And of course, in the background, the voice of my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. Joyce, is there anything we haven't covered? Is there anything we haven't?
I'd like you to make me lunch.
Yeah, I will make you lunch.
I need sustenance.
Ah.
I've been screenshotting. You're gonna love it.
Oh, Joyce has been taking screenshots of the show, which I think is wonderful, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate really all of you guys tuning in. So be with us next week. I alluded to a guest. We haven't had a guest in a couple of weeks, but we have. Oh, forgive me. We haven't had a new guest on the show in a couple of weeks that we'll be talking to about life and livelihood. We should be all set with him. I don't want to give the name, I don't want to jinx it, but this is a veteran theater critic, not here, but in the UK. This is someone who has covered West End theater for maybe something like 50 or 60 years, one of the most respected theater critics in all of the United Kingdom. Ooh. And we're very, very thrilled. I know him personally. I met him in Romania. And although we've been out of touch for years on end, he's a great, great guy, a fine critic. And, Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, he should be with us next Saturday, sometime between 9 and noon. Plus we'll have Cynthia and Jeff back and Leslie and maybe Robert back. It's turning into a free-for-all, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, it is free for all, so you might as well tune in. It's Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. Check the website, davesgoneby.com, and I will see you, God willing, next Saturday, August 22nd, for our 760th edition of the program. Stay cool, stay healthy, bundle your kids off to school in bubbles if you need to, and gone by.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
See you next week.